Right. Oh man, here we go. We're live. Now I'm just waiting for some people to get on to let us know if you can actually hear me through the new mic. Oh,
My bad. I can hear you.
Rob can hear me. All right.
Is that through the mic or is that
Can you
through
hear
the
yourself
audio?
in there?
I'm pretty sure you can hear me through the mic.
Can you hear yourself in there?
I cannot. Can you hear yourself in
No.
that? No, I can't hear myself in this.
Okay, in there.
Let's see. Hello.
This don't fit my big ass head.
Hello. Nope, can't get it to work through the headphones, so we are going to abandon that.
Well, try audio. Try switching audio.
Yeah, that's your.
Well, audio is, you can see that audio is working as we're speaking.
Yes, that's the microphone.
So I am just going to stay with that.
That means that's
And we're going to abandon the headphones for the night. So still working on getting some, as we are updating Bass and Beer Radio, trying to bring you guys even better content than when we started. I have to work through technical difficulties because I'm not technically smart. So
Could have just said smart.
fuck you, Tony.
Can't concentrate.
We got the show and tell over yonder.
I do have an important
is this
confession
the
that I
juice
have to
from
make
last
at some
night?
point this show.
An important confession.
It is an important confession.
Muddy
Oh.
Waters. I just deleted
I
the
need to
entire.
have a come to Jesus moment live tonight with everybody.
It's gonna have a
Where is
come
it?
to Jesus
Yes.
moment live tonight.
Yeah, it's pretty serious.
All right.
Oh god.
Hey,
I'm
Put
okay.
up first.
if you're
It's
watching,
real dark.
if you can hear this loud and clear, please comment that you can hear, because we're trying out this new mic and I just want to make sure that everybody can hear it. All right. So we're pretty stoked about tonight. Tonight we have a special guest on that we're pretty pumped about. We got Mr. Paul Batters. Last night's Martin with the sly comment as soon as he gets on. Is this 5 dudes 1 cup? You're in the right place, Martin.
It's five dudes, 5 beers.
5 dudes, 5
Thank you for logging in,
beers.
Martin. What are you wearing?
Can
So,
you hear all of us?
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys can tell or not, but does the audio sound more crisp than last week? Let us know. Can you hear all of us talking into the single mic right now?
Hello.
Yes. Hello. You know what? I'm gonna pull it up here on my cellular device.
We got like a round table going on tonight.
Yeah, we got it going on tonight.
I'm heading out so I get back sooner.
Can you hear it?
They said like butter,
Does it sound good?
like butter.
Like butter.
See?
Yeah.
Right
Yeah,
on,
sounds
man.
All right, sweet. All right, y'all. So we're kicking it off with obviously we just introduced our guest. Mr. Paul Batters is on tonight. He is last night's Thursday night TX winner.
Yeah. Let's do a golf clap.
Congrats on Mr. Batters.
I clap first.
Guy.
Man, like, not to jump all over the place, but we have so much shit to talk about this week. It's pretty phenomenal. But I do want to say it's been a tough week. One thing we didn't get to talk about yet, because it was actually the day after our show, was me and Tony went out and completely shit the bed in the Saturday night tournament last week.
Absolutely. I mean, it was Saturday morning, but you still shit the bed.
We Saturday
yeah.
morning. Sorry.
That's correct.
Yeah, but we shit the bed. We several smalls, nothing that was boxable, and it was just couldn't really figure out exactly what the bigs wanted that day. I believe it was 17 pounds that ended up winning that tournament.
Yep, 17 pounds. Big Dave and Scotty went up there and whacked them per usual. This is on Conowingo as well. So for you guys that are that follow it, 17 pounds anywhere this time of year is a pretty good bag. 17 pounds on Conowingo is an exceptionally great bag. So
Yeah.
congrats to those guys for going out there and
Except
whacking
on the
shit
bay,
up.
that ain't shit.
But 2 pounds less. 2 pounds
Yeah.
less ain't shit.
Except for on the bay, 2 pounds less was that ain't shit.
pounds. It took me a while to do the math. I'm slow. I'm like, what?
Now you
Oh,
just got to read the math.
17 minus 2.
that's
That's
difficult.
14, 13, something.
Tequila is a hell of a drug.
Speaking of tequila, I need a Bud Light.
Hey, what up, Pete? What's up, Brian? What's up, Martin? Thanks for watching. I gotta say what's up to my wife. She just texted me. She's watching. Love you. She watches every episode.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Well supported.
We appreciate it. So as you guys can see down in the bottom left corner over here, right corner, whatever it is, you guys, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, do us a favor, like, follow, and subscribe. If you're watching this right now on Facebook, do me a huge favor and hit that share button. That helps us out a ton. We would appreciate it more than you know. Yeah, so we shit the bed at Conowingo on Saturday pretty good. I
did.
wouldn't say it was like the best conditions either, but we shit the bed.
No, I like for me personally, it was a bad mental day. Like I don't know what was going on in my head, but I threw 3, but really 2 baits all day and never got a keeper. That's pretty unacceptable in my opinion. If you're not catching them, so you got to switch it up.
Yeah.
So I totally, that's my lesson taken away from that. We can get into that a little bit more. I'm sure all you guys will have thoughts on that. But if you're not catching them, it's easy rather to fall into that trap of, oh, I've caught them here in this lake or on this spot on a jig over and over and over again. And you just keep throwing it and throwing it and throwing it, and you don't ever get them, right? I've done that multiple times. And then Skylar and I ended up going up there Monday, changed up our bait arsenal, and had a pretty damn good day. Had a big largemouth over 4, a smallmouth over 3. Pretty back to back, actually.
6 fish total.
6 keepers total. Missed 2 more big ones out in the grass. So we've definitely, and we just threw different baits. Just totally did the opposite of what I did on Monday. So definitely something to keep in mind for sure. But yes, we absolutely should.
Tom Over, thanks for joining. He said the mayfly hatch full swing.
Yeah, no, it's you get a bait stuck in a tree. You get a bait stuck in a tree up there right now. You're gonna know it because there's gonna be about 1 million of them some bitches in your boat.
Oh yeah,
which is horrible.
Sucks.
And then our buddy Greg Hall said Batters Joppatown hammer.
Mhm.
Yeah, we know that he's a hammer everywhere he goes. Dude.
we already know.
He smashes fish everywhere he goes. What do you think about the Derby last night, Paul? Let's share some thoughts on it.
It was tough. It was real tough. Water. I mean, water was real muddy in Joppatown. I didn't leave Joppatown. I knew where there was fish, but I didn't want to leave fish to find fish, so I just had to figure out how to catch them in the mud. And we had the opportunity to actually have a really big bag. Made a couple mistakes. Candace missed a real giant, and I lost a 4-pounder at the boat. So we made the right adjustments, and
I won't give up your spot, but I know where you were fishing because we were close to you. But did you stay in the same spot the whole time?
yeah, pretty much. We caught all of our fish in a 100-yard area.
Wow.
Really? Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually, all of our bites came out of a 100-yard area.
That's sticking to a game plan, man.
I had
That's,
to change my name to last night to Can't Get a Bite.
Yeah.
I couldn't get a bite, dude. It was
lost a rod in the process.
that was Evan
Oh.
broke his rod. That was that
Oh,
snakehead that we caught. Did that? Them snakeheads, dude. They go crazy
Yeah,
with them in the boat, dude. That's some rod breaking fools.
Oh yeah, is that what happened?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Snakehead.
Yeah, that's why you say it like a lion.
Broke over somebody's leg. I think that's what he's getting at.
Oh, I see what you're saying. No, we didn't. I mean, usually if you're going to break your rod or because you lost a fish, we didn't have a fish to lose. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that 4-pounder that I lost in the boat, that was my second bite of the night. When I lost it, I almost broke my rod.
That hurts, dude. It hurts, man.
My rod almost got snapped over my leg.
Everybody's seen the video of me cussing my ass off because I lost a fish. That was a tough day.
Yeah.
Paul actually took me out that day. He was smashing them. So one thing I can tell you about Paul Batters is you don't want to fish behind him. He doesn't leave much behind him for you to catch.
Picks it apart.
He picks it. He's not missing too many of them.
All about the electronics that day.
Yeah, that 360 was amazing to me, actually.
Yeah, 360 was the biggest thing for our success on Monday when we went out. I was able to fish isolated grass clumps that weren't on the surface that you couldn't see, and that's where the fish were. So it's just goes to show you, electronics are super important even in shallow water.
Well, Paul was like, "Hey, Rob, get up on the front of the boat, dude." I got up there and I just kind of stopped looking at the 360, trying to figure it out. I was like, "Oh, this is cool as shit." I'm like, he's like, "You're missing everything." I was like, overwhelmed, dude. He's got it. He got it dialed in that day. Like he could almost call it. Like there's going to be one right there on that clump, and know it.
It was a good day. I mean, we didn't catch a lot of big fish, but I mean, we had a good day. Had
Yeah.
fun. It was nice. It was a nice day out.
I mean, it's a good day. You guys got to go out there, and I mean, you got to play around with something different that
Dude,
you
any
haven't used
day,
before and try to.
any
use
day on the water
electronics.
was a good day, and I learned a whole lot that day
Yeah,
too, which is
he
great.
wrote beers out of the
It was, I mean, you should try to learn something even when you have a bad day. Even when you have a bad day on the water, you still learn. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Just, you learn so
Well,
much.
I learned a
Yeah,
lot from the
absolutely.
tour on Thursday. No doubt about
I learned
it.
how not to catch them.
Yeah. Basically, pay attention to the guys that called them on Thursday, and
I actually, I was talking
What
to
did
Paul
they do?
about it outside, and I don't want to say much, but I kind of got some things figured out on the derbies that did not do good in this year. So never mind. It's my brain.
I mean, you can learn as much from not catching fish as you can from catching.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You should-
100%.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
those
should-
are hard days.
You should learn something every time you're on the water. It doesn't
Right.
matter if you
That's
catch
what I'm
fish or
saying.
you don't
Yeah.
catch fish. There's always a learning opportunity, and you have to pay attention to all of the details. And it might be you caught one fish, and that one fish will key you in. Practice for this tournament, I caught one fish.
Mhm.
I went out and practiced on Wednesday. I caught one fish, and just prior history of the gunpowder, I knew they would be there. So I ended up fishing that area.
Same spot in practice as
Close. Yeah.
Close. Oh, so all right. So you basically
Actually, Rob and Evan started on the spot where I wanted to start on. So I went down.
Nobody needs to
give me
know
plenty of
about that
space.
spot. Actually, I know somebody who's very close to that same spot as well.
He also caught a limit too.
Well, they took off somewhere. He like
Oh, I was
was
talking
it
about
Tilbert?
4 of us were in the same spot.
we were all right there.
We were it went like Paul and Candace and then like me and Evan and then you.
And then Tony was past me.
Oh really? Oh, you were farther out.
I was just a little further out.
So we were all like in a row, like this
Yep.
fishing.
We were all fishing the same spot.
Where you started
We
is where I
abandoned it.
wanted to start too.
We
And I was
abandoned-
like, I'm gonna just go that way.
We abandoned that spot. We
Yeah.
probably should have stuck
Yeah.
with it. We gave up on it too quick. It was just so dirty. So the dirty water got in our head. Like, let's go try to find clearer water.
And the water was
we
moving
flipped-
out way too
It
fast.
had
Yeah.
been worse
One lay
in
down.
the canals.
No,
We flipped one lay down, and I was like, no confidence. Left.
Yeah.
The main thing you have to think of, Rob, is it's not necessarily that you have to find clean water.
Mhm.
You just have to find cleaner water than what's around.
Right.
So even though the water I was fishing was dirty, and it was real dirty, it was cleaner than all the canals. It was cleaner than anything else in the area.
It was cleaner than 300 yards to your left.
Just say what's up to my nephew. He says, "What's up, Uncle Rob? What's
This-
up, Corey? Hey, thanks for watching, man." So, and it's that fresh mud is worse.
Yes.
Like the mud that's just coming in the river from like up, the Clearwater side and all that. It's still like that gritty,
Yes. It's
grimy
you
mud.
can catch
Right.
that.
nasty.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
catch them in that if it's been there for 2 or 3 days. If it's been like that for
Definitely.
2 or 3 days and it's stable, the fish get used to it. Like they're
Yeah.
going to feed no matter what.
Yeah, they gotta
But
eat.
if it's fresh mud, it's really hard to catch them. Just find a little bit cleaner water. That the fish aren't going to move 3 miles. They're going to move 100 yards.
Right.
And if they can move 100 yards and get into a little bit cleaner water, I mean, I maybe had a foot of visibility where I was.
Right.
That's
And-
the difference, though.
That was the difference. I mean, there was a lot of fish there. We had we had a good opportunity. We missed a lot of fish, and part of that's because of muddy water. But
So
Think
great.
about how many times that we've gone up to Conowingo and found clean water and caught the dog slap out of.
Yeah. Well, and
You
it's
know what I
always
mean?
it's always right on that freaking mud line too.
well, and think about too how many times have you gone to Conowingo when it's super muddy and it's been that way for a week and
And
you
caught 'em.
smash them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Greg
Well, they gotta
says, Greg says,
They gotta eat.
Greg, by the way, congratulations, man. He got another W yesterday, not the first,
Third
but he was in the money. But he said there was cleaner water out past the bridge.
There was.
And then
Yeah.
he said they ran
Yeah,
out.
Skylar found it.
I saw your pictures on Facebook, Greg. I know where we saw that.
You can thank
The
Scott.
background's kind of like you look at the background.
That is a landmark in this area.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna be there.
It's like the Statue of Liberty on the Chesapeake Bay in this area. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
The Statue.
Yeah, I figured there would be
Chesapeake
cleaner
Bay.
water outside the bridge, but
Well, you catch like a big ass snapping turtle too.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, snapper like this big.
I really
Then
need
he's
to
like, oh, I'll
start
call
fishing
bigger ones.
outside the bridge a lot more.
I know how he caught it on the boat.
I saw that picture.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
That was huge.
He ain't scared.
Well, right on the other side of the bridge was muddy as hell.
Just
That
grab
grass
him.
right there was just as dirty as anywhere else inside.
Yeah, I saw you guys go over there.
Crazy.
Just grabbing snapping turtles up by hand, I guess.
There was cleaner water on the other side of the bridge, and we tried it out for.
Oh, you did go out there.
Oh yeah,
We thought of
dude,
it.
we ran all the way over to all the way over to the grass on like the Edgewood.
Oh, you
Proving
went-
side
you went.
and freaking fished it for a while. Came all the way back, fished the other side of the bridge. Came
Yeah,
went
maybe
back up into the channel, fished up in the channel.
There's been some fish in that grass. They've just been hard to catch.
Yeah.
Bro, that grass bed's humongous. Like,
Me and
they could
Tony caught them
be, they
right
could
there
be
one day.
anywhere in that grass. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, it's a
That's the
huge
thing.
grass.
Yeah.
bed.
that grass bed is gigantic.
It's a massive grass.
Whereas I feel like the area where Paul and I were fishing yesterday, like he was saying with the water clarity and it was relatively clear in the area where we were. It just shrunk the playing field down so much. Where
Right.
we knew as soon as that watercolor started looking not as good, I turned around and immediately went back and started catching them again.
Really?
Like,
I was doing the same thing.
Yep.
I would go from one area, the water would get dirtier over here.
turn around and go
I
back.
turn around and go, catch fish in the cleaner water until I got over, to this part here. The water started
Just
getting dirty.
float
And just
back
turn
over.
around and come back.
And I can't tell you how many fish we caught. We called out all our 3 original keepers last night. We just didn't get the big bite.
Well, Greg's saying
He's a brave man.
they had their limit on the GP by 6:30. They ran over there looking for a big fish or a kicker.
That's awesome.
The fact that you grab that thing, float next to the boat, I wouldn't put my hands anywhere near that.
Well, that's not
The turtle man.
That's nuts.
Yeah, Greg ain't scared.
It's like Travis with snakes, dude.
I'll pick up a snake way before I pick up a snapping turtle. I
Really.
ain't gonna lose a
I
finger
would
for a
grab
snake.
either one.
Yeah.
Any bottom.
I like all my digits.
I don't know if you experienced the same thing last night, but when we would see fish break in an area where there was like a little break in the grass,
Yeah.
you could actually sit there and if you dedicated enough time, you could catch that fish.
You saw some fish busting on.
We
top?
did that for all the fish but one last night. Like you would see them busting in an area where you thought there would be a fish, and we would just sit down. I'd actually put the motor all the way down because I don't have power poles because I'm an idiot, won't buy them yet. And you could literally just cast and cast and cast, and after a couple minutes, you'd get them to bite. We would catch them almost every time.
Didn't waste my time with that. I would just
kept rolling.
my foot was on troll motor all
We saw that
Okay.
several times on Thursday, the fish busting and everything, and we would go cast over to them a couple different times and nothing would happen. But a lot of the times the blow-ups honestly were like they reminded me of the little schoolie rockfish freaking blow-ups.
So,
or something. Like they were
that's-
just real small.
I had a blow
Funny
up
that
like
funny that you mentioned
I had
that.
a blow up
I
like
caught a rockfish on frog last night.
Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, you did
That's
say that.
awesome.
You said
Yeah.
that last night.
So there were definitely rockfish out there. It was a keeper too. I should have thrown it in the line, but it was
You caught a
1920.
good frog. You caught a good rockfish out there on frog.
It was 19-20 inches. Yeah.
Are we ever going to catch a smallmouth in one of these tournaments and weigh it in just for shits and giggles?
It's possible.
That's
We-
very possible.
We had a club tournament a couple years ago, and one of the guys in my club weighed in a smallmouth in the gunpowder. I caught it in a quarry.
Wow.
What?
Damn.
I know where you can catch
Came out a little
smallmouth.
gunpowder.
That's awesome.
I know where we
Who's
came
taking
to,
that
but
big old
it's
deck?
taking the time.
All day, just for the hell of it. That's
They come
awesome.
out of they will come out of the little gunpowder occasionally and get in the quarry.
Yeah.
I would do it.
I would
You
do
think-
it just
you think
to
it's
weigh
more-
it in the 3'fer.
Yeah, just
I don't
do
even
it.
care about
do
the
it.
weight. Just
I don't care.
You
know
think
why?
it's more when we have like
I caught a smallmouth
like
up
a
there
drought.
last week.
that water freshens up more and they
Well,
might
big.
move from upriver
I think they
farther
just
out.
follow the bait when you get a bunch of bait that's pushing up in there.
I was gonna say a drought. It would
Usually
be
it's like
opposite.
early. It's like early in June when the herring are still in there. I think they just follow the herring out.
Greg said he used to catch smallmouth off the bridge. That's pretty.
The
cool.
train bridge?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom.
Two snakes, right?
3, I think.
Or,
I think
there
there
was
was
a real
3.
small one, right?
Yeah,
That's
there was
pretty- that's
they were.
pretty-
I mean, they were all
it's
decent
gotta be
size.
pretty
I think the
salty
smallest
out
one was
there
probably
for-
about 4 pounds. And then
It depends though. It depends on a lot of things. Like
I think Rob's was 7 something, and
Oh,
then there
yeah,
was 8
like-
pounder we did.
so here's the thing, right? Like Yes, I'm sure it's salty out by the bridge, right? And I mean, we all know we fish it. Like, and you get there in September, you'll see guys crabbing inside the bridge, right? I've seen guys crabbing on the back channel and have caught smallmouth in the same day.
Really?
So, like, I feel like, and I know Paul's probably, I think I've talked to you about this, Paul, but like, there are smallmouth that are tidal smallmouth, and there are smallmouth that are freshwater smallmouth. That like up in the river, they never leave the river, and then there are smallmouth on the flats that don't leave the flats.
So I can tell you
I get
exactly
you.
what
I get what you're saying. I get it.
So those smallmouth that are in the river, when you get into late summer, the river water, because there's no grass up there and the water coming out of Conowingo is usually 5 degrees warmer than it is on the flats.
Yes.
And they will move out of that warm water down onto the flats into cooler water. There's more bait down there. They just follow the bait. And it's not uncommon now to catch smallmouth on the flats. I mean, I've caught 4-pound smallmouth on a frog. On the main flat,
Wow.
you know, out in the main flats. We've seen, we had an ABA last year, and John Venor told me he saw a school of walleye on the flats.
Wow, that's
And
cool shit.
100% knew they were walleye. What, you know, they were in clear water, and looked down, and you could see the white tips on their fins.
That's pretty cool.
And that was way far south on the flats.
I damn near, because they're talking about it now, had big snakehead. I thought I had it at first. Had a 7.5-pound snakehead. And then, of course, somebody came in with an 8.
There haven't been that many snakeheads caught recently in these
Dude,
tournaments.
when me and them caught the 7.5, it was like, oh, at least we got big snakehead.
This dirty
Can't
water.
come back.
now.
It's still
Yeah.
going to get the big snakehead, dude. I thought I had it.
Are there a bunch of snakeheads on the chop tank?
There's some down there.
Okay.
I caught my rider caught one a couple years ago that was probably about 7 pounds.
That was the first thing I ever caught on the sassafras when I went over there for the first time. I was looking at all the old forums that tell you where to go during pre-spawn and everything. And I pull up to this dock, so I fire a chatterbait in between the pilings first cast. Boom. Rod doubles over. I'm like, no freaking way, dude. Giant fucking snake.
I just heard your phone vibrate.
Really?
Yeah.
Good. Well, I guess the headsets are working. Are these working or is it just that one?
No.
This one's just working because I have it plugged directly into the mic.
Is the mic not plugged into that box there?
So all the mics are plugged into that box. I have to figure out what the input or the output signal for that particular box is.
Gotcha.
Are the mics turned on the box?
So what happened was
The volume is
No.
turned up on them.
Okay.
Yes.
what happened
What about
was
the mic itself?
Chad,
No.
Charles.
Nothing on the box.
He started to hook.
Ron.
He started to hook the headphones up, but then he got to drinking, and he was like,
Then
maybe
call-
maybe next show.
That's what I do when I tie up for tournaments. So I break off all the time.
And then he was like, oh, maybe next show we'll get the mics working.
Yeah.
I mean the headsets. And that's that.
Well, I mean,
It's bad, severe.
Amazon literally delivered our. We got some Rockville headsets. I purchased 3 Yeti microphones for the podcasts, and a splitter and a headphone amplifier for 4 different channels. But all of this literally came in. The mics came in last night, and literally about 15 minutes before we went live tonight, these headsets got delivered. So I just like try to throw it all together real quick and make it work. And I just didn't have enough time to figure it out. So you could definitely. I was thinking about maybe trying to do one maybe towards the middle of the week
What, another podcast?
this week. Yeah.
I'm there.
I mean, I'm on at my annual training for
Yeah.
the unit, but I should be able to make that if it's at night. Shouldn't be a problem.
And then
So,
broadcast live from the Thursday nighter, and then
Broadcast live from the Thursday
Don't
night. Do our
be
recap
able to
on
fish that
Friday.
Thursday nighter though. Which sucks.
Mm.
Which
I'm
sucks.
sure I can make it this week. I know there's one this month. There's
You're not fishing?
2. There's a couple this month that I can't make.
What's the Thursday nighter?
Yeah.
Are you not fishing this next one?
I can't remember. I
Okay.
gotta check my schedule.
See, the only thing is because I think when we're on our training schedule, we get off at 5, and if I get off at 5, they're in your way. I'm getting a job.
5:30.
5:30.
I know I can't make the one in 2 weeks. So like it'll be on.
I'll just fish up a Harry Grace after work.
Second or
Right there.
21st. I can't.
Mhm.
I'll be on the chop tank.
I plan on fishing all of them, hopefully. I'm actually doing so. Last
And then
year
the following week I'll be on the St. Lawrence. So
That's gonna be a blast.
last year we went on Winter
Not-
Street like 4 wins in a row, but that was later in the year as well. I didn't even win one this early in the year.
I do better over there later.
Because I won a
Yeah.
I do better over there later.
I went on the winning streak.
Later,
in the
right,
beginning.
that's what I'm saying. That's
August,
like when we
September.
went out. Didn't we go out in August, I think?
September. We went out in September last year.
No,
That was
September's fired.
that was insane.
Yeah.
That was one of my. That's my second best day I've ever had at Joppatown. And just me and Travis Metz just like beat that weight wise this year.
Really?
That's only because I had 2 over 4, 1 over 5.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Was that the day?
that was the
That was the day.
me and Tony went out and smashed him last year.
I've had some crazy days on Joppatown.
Me too.
Yeah,
Like
Me too.
absolute
catching
crazy days.
absolute monster. Now a lot of this was prior to the fish kill. But
I'm
what
so
you guys
upset I didn't get to fish
what you-
prior to that.
No,
What you
after
guys-
the fish kill.
what you guys know now though, prior to the fish kill, that the flat out in front of the quarry canal,
Uh-huh.
like you could go out there in the summertime and you need 2 baits, you know, hollow belly frog and a rivet frog, and you would catch 3 or 4 pounders.
Oh, you mean
literally all
in
evening?
front of the pond?
No, in front of the quarry, in front of the main.
Oh,
what you
I
call
know
it,
what
main
you're talking
canal.
about. I know what
Yeah,
you're talking about.
yeah.
I know,
You think we'll ever get back to that?
I think it will.
It's
I think it's just
getting
going to take time. I mean, it's been getting better every year.
Here's
I would agree with
here's
that. I would
here's
definitely agree with that.
here's a serious question. You think they'll ever finish working on the Route 40 bridge?
No, never.
No.
So I just saw my wife told me last night that she saw a notice that
Somebody's
it
a
will
penis.
be completed by 2023.
It's penis.
2020.
So next
We
year
got a random
it's supposed
penis.
to be complete.
At the very end of next year, almost 2024.
Probably. Like December 31st.
Right.
I think that is why we have that green slimy crap
I
now.
wonder.
But
I wonder that. I
The
do wonder
current
that.
used to work
'Cause-
smooth there.
I mean, honest, I haven't been fishing well over there.
Yeah.
Like I haven't caught them in there since I've seen that shit show up.
Nathan said penis.
Right, yeah, that's what I said.
Well,
a little bit. Can you hear all
He's
right?
a little late.
I don't
Put the headset on. Yeah.
I'm telling you, Nate Emke would log on here one time
Just say penis.
just to say penis and then log off. I know
Rob,
he would.
you can't really take Tony's word for that because me and Chad were in a big gun
That
battle.
is
the same
true.
way he was out
That
there.
is
Me and
true.
Chad smashed him.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, that's true. We did.
Me and Chad smashed him.
But where-
Tony couldn't buy it. Like,
He's
on the slide.
He yelled right back to us.
I've been
He's like,
there.
I can't catch shit on this freaking bait. And me and you were like,
I've been
we
there.
both have that bait on.
I've been there, but here's the thing. I really think that's what's causing that stuff to show up.
I think
I've,
yeah,
I've never
there's a
never
little-
seen it in there.
Me neither.
No,
that's
I
what I'm
haven't.
saying.
This
What
is
about the
only my
green
second
algae?
year of really
Yeah.
knowing my
Yeah.
way around that area.
I have. I don't know if it's a current related issue or
You don't
if
think
it's. Well, I've seen it prior. I've seen that in there prior to them building this.
As
bridge.
bad as it is now.
But I don't know what causes it. I don't know if it's maybe a temperature thing or if it's a water quality thing. But I have seen it in there before they
Have
started.
you seen it
this.
this heavy?
Yeah, I've
It's
seen
bad
it
this year.
real bad.
Okay.
It was real bad one year in the quarry canal.
Really?
You know, in the
Yeah,
main
yeah,
canal that goes
yeah.
back to the regular quarry. It
No,
was,
that
it was
was
real
right
bad in
from
there
her.
one year.
See, I actually like fishing that stuff, like, well, especially on like the back channel where you've seen me fish all the fucking time.
Different.
Well, like, is it different?
That's
Is it? Okay. But like a lot of people don't like fishing that slime.
the
There's
cheese mats.
the blue
It's not-
algae. It looks like blue. It looks like
I don't like
Parmesan
fishing.
cheese.
I don't like fishing that. It
But
doesn't
it's
look
so bad.
healthy.
The stuff we were fishing.
That's where I got mad and cussed with the cussing video. Where I
Is it out there already?
Yeah, it was at the
Is it?
cheese.
It's
It was
not-
at the
it's not
cheese mats.
There's
Well,
there's big patches of it.
Okay.
It's
That's
not like
what I
that
like.
full like covering the back.
See,
end.
but
I
that's
like fishing that
way
stuff.
different stuff though.
Yeah.
Yes, like that stuff in the
Because
GP
that's all
is like,
hot. But here's the thing. You know, what I like about
at least
that.
that's like some shade for the bass.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Right? Dave, I can get them to eat a frog in places like that all day long. Okay. I prefer that stuff when it's dead high sun because they really get under this mat.
Yeah, shade.
Like I had the last club tournament that I won. It wasn't last year, the year before that. I actually fished over there, and I got over there in the morning, didn't catch them. Went back at around noon when the sun was beating on it. Every opening I got bitten. It was awesome, and everyone else.
I have a funny
So we're
story
gonna have
about
a
that day.
What's
Oh, you were there that day.
I have a
that's
funny story about that day. So
Oh, you were there.
I pulled up on the back channel next to Tony.
Please do
And-
tell Paul.
He Tony was very excited because he had been catching fish all day, and he told me that he had like 16 or 17 pounds, and I was like, "Damn, that's awesome! That's awesome, man."
I think I had like 14.
So then he gets back to weigh in, he has 12 pounds. No, it was the same day.
12 pounds really ain't shit.
It was enough to win. All right?
And that's when he got the nickname Big Eye Tony.
Yep. It was
Big
enough
Eye
to win.
Tony.
It was enough
Is
to
that
win.
what Dustin's comment was for?
Yeah.
The freaking
Yeah.
day? Okay, I was wondering what that was
All right.
about.
My first ever tournament with the club. I was, I think, 18 years
What's
old.
up,
I had
Larry?
just bought the Ranger, dude. Like,
What's going on, Larry?
I'm I had just joined the club like the week prior. Chuck Tawney was still the president of the club.
You know Chuck?
Chuck, he was the president of Outcast.
So
Hey, I don't want to not to cut everybody off here, but Mr. Larry Payne is watching, and Mr. Larry Payne is the owner of
The
our
Bass
sponsor,
Munitions,
Bass
yes.
Munitions, right?
And
Oh, hey,
I
how
got to
you
say
doing?
thank you to Mr. Payne because
Thank you to Mr.
me
Larry
and
Payne.
Skylar kind of put the smack on him, and I know Rob's put the smack on him as well with
Oh,
these
yeah.
worms here.
but
So-
Chuck Tony.
I still have a fish.
Me and
Yeah.
Chuck Tony skated back in the 80s.
Yeah.
You know he's a skater.
He said he's making swim. Sorry, I'm. He said he's making
Swim bait
fish.
jigs.
Working on some
Ooh,
swim bait
I
jigs.
like that. I like
If
that.
you guys haven't,
We gotta get Chuck on there.
already,
He's out of fishing,
I know that, but I known him
but he was
way before he was even into fishing.
So, but anyway, long story short, I had never fished the Upper Bay before, ever. It was the first club tournament I ever fished. I knew nobody. All I knew was Chuck. Right? He says, "Hey, we launch at 5." So I showed up at like 4:45, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm late." Damn, like had no idea what the club was about. I run all the way down to Swan. Never fished before. I'm like, "There's usually pads here. I don't see any pads because it was like May, right? Because of course there's not going to be
Oh, they're
pads." So I went to that dock and I actually had the girl I was seeing at the time with me, and I'm flipping a June bug lizard because there's a guy on YouTube called the Working Fisherman.
Yep.
Who
He
you-
catches a
Yep.
6-pounder.
June
he
bug
pulls the
lizard, right?
branch on the June bug lizard.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
All I got is a June bug lizard. I'm flipping, and she's never flipped before. So she's like, "Well, how do you do this?" I'm like, "Well, you pitch it this way, and if you see your line start moving, there's a fish on it." She's like your line's doing it right now. I'm like visible confusion. Oh yeah, there's one on there. It was like 4-pounder.
Nice.
It was like 4 1/4. Now that was like the biggest fish I had caught at that in a long time. So I'm like, oh my god, it's a 6.5 pounder. So yeah, I've been doing that shit from the beginning, but I got a lot better at it. I will say, because this year I've actually been on the other end of that. Like I
Very
thought I've
cool.
had like 10 pounds and came in with like
Making,
13
swim bait.
multiple times. So
Mhm.
Yeah, you got it better.
we are.
because I've caught more big fish recently, finally. But yeah, the Holston ST worm has definitely been awesome for us. And
Now, you and Skylar went out and you guys caught, what was that? A 3-pound
3-pound
smallmouth on the Holston
and
and
I got a largemouth right at
a
4,
4-pound largemouth on the Holston.
which is really significant for Conowingo, I would think.
Rob and Evan
Orgy's
went
up,
out.
yeah, for sure.
Rob and Evan went out and pulled second place in the last Thursday nighter on the Holston. I mean,
Man,
Good
big
work.
worms.
need I say more?
What's up, Dan?
Need I say more?
Yeah, no, definitely
Thanks for joining.
get your hands on that Holston worm. That's a pretty serious little worm.
BassMunitionsLures.com, not Paul and his PP. BassMunitionsLures.com.
It does say penis up there.
It does. It does. Thank you, Nate.
That's a great comment.
Thank you.
All right,
I do.
say-
I wish I could love this comment. To be honest with you, I don't know what clicking the star is going to do, so I'm not going to click it. Okay, I'm going to try.
I said you could block them.
So
I love my boy Nate.
if we're talking about baits now, I think this is the perfect time for me to make my confession.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
We're waiting for this.
okay. I want you to put. You know what? Take this mic.
All right, Joe
Take
Video,
this
let's
mic.
go.
No. I'm proud.
Good squad bait, where you from?
I wasn't throwing a Guggen spot.
Oh no.
So- I have a tournament. Skylar and I have a tournament tomorrow, club tournament on the chop tank. All right. Everyone and their mothers told me white buzzbait, what buzzbait of whatever you want, right? It's the chop tank deal, right? So I go to Dick's after work looking at buzzbaits. Well, all they have are the buzz toad. I already got 50 of them. The only other buzzbaits were the Guggen ones.
Did you buy that?
I bought 3.
Hey,
Listen,
it's probably the imitation of a really good buzzbait.
I'm actually gonna laugh if you slam them tomorrow. Like honestly.
He says it's probably
I'm so
a good
disappointed.
imitation of a good buzzbait.
That's fantastic.
I mean, you know what I
That's
mean?
awesome.
Like, it's probably a decent buzzbait.
It's probably a-
like
yeah, it's
something
probably-
that catches them.
It's like a
Probably a
jack
great
off.
rip-off. It's probably a great rip-off of a Straight King.
So,
right, exactly.
That is
It's
the
like
first-
a Calvatron.
Oh
that
my
is the
God.
first Guggen purchase and hopefully the last Guggen purchase I've ever made in my life.
I have
I'm
a
probably gonna throw one just because it's the only non-buzz toad buzzbait that I have.
God
Other
damn
than
it!
the
I'll
clickers,
give you the Jamaica
Yeah.
boa if you want it.
maybe.
the Jamaica boa I brought over here, or no?
No, you brought over the old
Swamp donkey. That's right. I do have some Jamaican boas
What
I might
about
give away.
what about the jackal buzzbait? Anybody throw those?
Yes, the firecracker.
Are they nice?
It's the loudest
They're
buzzbait you
loud
ever
as
heard.
shit, dude.
Really?
I mean, it sounds like an automatic weapon going off.
If you're
I like
fishing
automatic
it,
weapons.
if you're fishing it in the pond, and I'm like in the quarry, I could hear it. I'm like, oh, Tony's over there throwing the firecracker.
Yeah,
Like it's that
I
loud.
mean,
dude.
that shit is
Yeah.
loud, no doubt.
Have you tried the Picasso rusty squeaker?
the reaction
I haven't
innovations, Squeaky Dolphin.
Not the squeaky dolphin. The
No.
Picasso. came out last
See,
year.
that's like OG
That
the
air
squeaky
dolphin.
dolphin, though.
The Squeaky Dolphin is like there's no such buzzbait made that exists called Squeaky Dolphin. Don't even bother with it.
No, don't look at it. Well, to be fair, when you see the price of them, you won't want to buy them anyway.
How much does the jackal cost?
No, it's normal price. Like maybe
Yeah,
like
$12.
it's JDM, so maybe like $12 or so. They got them in stock up.
I love buzzbaits.
So the
We're already wrapping the Ranger in Bass and Beer Radio Bar. It's too late.
I will. That's the only thing I'm
Picasso,
with the Ranger.
they pre-rust the rivet,
makes it louder.
makes it squeak.
Mm-hmm.
So-
Did they really?
Yes.
Pre-rust.
That's actually pretty.
So
cool.
people back in the
That's some
day,
old school shit.
back in the day,
Yeah.
people used to hang their buzz baits like from their car antenna and let them fly in the wind, wear them
Up
out,
to
make them
20.
louder.
Don't hold them out.
Greg
the window.
De Palma was getting ready for an Elite Series tournament earlier this year when they were down on Chickamauga, and he had 6 buzz baits lined up like this in front of a fan, a box fan.
Just wearing the blade
Just
down.
letting it blow and wear the blades down so they squeak.
If you want a loud buzz bait, like the loudest buzz bait, I'm telling you, the
Jackal firecracker, dude, that's
Yeah.
dumb.
that firecracker is.
Sometimes
retarded.
it's not about buzz
So
baits
that's
are-
the thing. Sometimes I think it might be too loud. Sometimes,
Buzz baits are one
That's
of
how
my.
I feel about it. I feel like it's almost.
You
I
might
just
want
turned
something
it on
subtle.
last year's
dude, the Booyah buzz bait, believe it or not, is a good buzz bait. It
Buzz
really
baits
is.
are one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite baits.
I like the Booyah pad
So
crackers
that's
and
the
everything.
question I was
It's
going
great
to
for
ask. If
Yeah,
you
that's
could
good
only
shit.
throw,
Yeah.
if you could only have 3 baits, what would they be?
3 red frogs.
All right, what about the frogs?
I'm serious.
3 red frogs. It sounds like a Christmas song, don't
He
it?
even said the color.
We talked about that last year.
Paul's already got
I'll
his
take
up
one.
there. Spinner bait, buzz bait, and
Paul
Wait a
spilling
minute.
beer down the
we
side
got a
of his
spinner
leg
bait,
right
we got a
now.
buzz bait. Oh, and a jig. Spinner bait, buzz bait,
Oh,
and jig.
yeah.
Actually,
What about you, Chad?
in all seriousness, I will agree with Paul. I think in this
No,
area,
three red frogs is like a great answer.
I mean,
Stick to that.
this time of year, yeah.
No, not this time of year. I mean, your whole life.
That
That's
sounds
it.
good.
I could just go to Florida in the winter and throw my 3 red frogs.
I'm going creature bait, spinner bait, and then probably like probably a buzz bait.
Earlier
You
in
can
the
probably swap out the spinner with chatterbait for me. I fish a chatterbait a lot
Yeah,
more
how
than
do
I
you
fish
miss
a
a chatter bait?
Earlier in the year, I
Yeah,
would have
he's
put a
not
Senko.
What about you?
You know, when you
3 baits.
beer, we spilled on this.
It's
Right now,
more
during
than-
this time of year?
No,
Just ever.
3 dates ever.
Spinnerbait.
Everybody's got
Well,
spinner bait. Spinner bait or chatter bait.
I'd rather
There should be
have
spinner
spinner
bait
bait.
slash
Yeah,
chatter.
yeah.
I'm assuming we're talking about largemouth too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Probably Senko and then.
Oh, Cinco.
I've caught a lot of fish this year.
Yeah.
with Senko.
We're talking about my favorite baits, not the most
Oh,
effective baits.
I think it was something like if you were to go out like 3
If
days,
you
you
had,
would
okay,
basically
let
catch
me
fish.
change the question. If you had to catch a fish to save your life,
I'm sort of
a
saying,
largemouth bass.
I'm sort of wacky rig Senko.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
I
maybe,
might be
yeah.
throwing
All
the
reliable.
frog, actually.
What's that?
Might be throwing
Well,
the
it depends
frog.
on time of year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
It could be winter time, dude.
oh.
So
winter-
Cinco, you can catch them year round.
Well, so that adds a level of complexity to the question.
More real.
If it's wintertime and I have to catch a bass, I'm throwing a silver plate.
That's a good point too.
Like,
But I think all around, I think a Senko.
Okay, let's-
Wacky rig
if you have to
Senko
pick all
anywhere.
around,
let's,
Yeah,
let's limit this, right? So let's talk about let's put a left and right limit on this. So obviously we're talking about favorite baits. We're not talking about from end of November to beginning of March. So let's talk about when the fish start biting. Well, let's say second week of April all the way through. We'll call it second week of November.
Right.
Because then you're taking out your super cold water.
Yeah.
I feel like you can catch a bass on a spinnerbait from probably even mid-March to mid-November. You know what I mean?
It's gotta be your friends, dude.
But
I know it's Big Darwin. Big Darwin's been on the show.
But
in all seriousness, like if I'm my three baits, other than the three red frogs, it's going to be a white spinner bait,
Other than the three
some
red
sort
frogs.
of jig,
Mhm.
and then probably a top water. Honestly,
So you
Problem solved.
3 baits. You're gonna pick 3 baits ever try the rest of your life.
a frog for the top water.
It's gonna be swim bait slash.
Oh, of course,
6-inch Citizen.
that's insane. That's insane to me.
Chatterbait.
Okay,
That's good.
that I like.
Yeah.
Jackhammer or chatterbait?
Oh, a jackhammer.
Okay.
Come on. You want to be more
I won't give up my
than a
juice on that.
jackhammer. I mean, and then if you really want to get into like the nitty gritty, like you have to cover everything, you'd probably just throw a Senko in there. Just go.
I haven't caught a Senko in a long
Think
That goes back
That's
to
how I
my-
feel. That I mean, like if it, and now and if I were to eliminate the
Sausage feast.
We did say feast, not
sausage,
best.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
The feast comes later.
but I will say our
Fucking go on with the video though. Look at me on the video. Dude.
that's our
No way.
what is happening right now?
The whole side of the screen is.
Robert, you have to see
I don't know what to find. I think so, dude.
So apparently that is not happening over at Facebook.
Oh,
Though.
that thank goodness, dude. I look like I was having.
We're gonna have.
Change the screen with your
Look at you. You're thinking very deeply. Over there.
No, it's still bad. Rob,
Oh,
why'd you
you're
have to
going
wipe your nose, bro?
Can you hit a refresh or?
It's just me.
Yeah, see, if I refresh, I don't know if it's gonna. It's probably gonna cut
No,
off
it's just
the.
me. It's just me.
podcast.
No,
It's
and
Skylar.
Chad's doing it.
It's only me and you, dude. Did you notice that?
Look,
Yeah.
Chad. No, Chad's
Chad's face is freaking out.
Should we just?
Oh, no, yeah, Chad's got like half a face. But Paul's still. Oh, there you go. If you move over, you move. No,
You gotta
towards
move
Paul.
that way.
Oh yeah, it looks like a.
You gotta move over there.
There's two of you. Line
Yeah,
your
you're
Chad.
somewhere over
Line
Wait,
your-
oh,
line
so
your face up
Skylar's.
face-
How is half the thing frozen?
Line your
Skylar
face up
is like
perfectly. Half
deep-
your face is
deep-
good, half your face is
Hold up,
Deep
I'm refreshing
Over
this
there,
shit.
dude. Look out. It's like, earlier, but
There we go.
Why don't I have a camera now?
we're experiencing.
Do you have to go back
technical
into
difficulties.
the software to get that back?
I don't know. What the hell?
Oh dear.
Can
There
you
you
still
go.
see us on Facebook?
Yeah, somebody comment, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys can still see. us
Oh,
on Facebook.
they obviously saw it because Dan said I got Tourette's.
That we're not even looking at.
Dan said,
Okay, so
Rob,
back-
Oh,
That's
okay,
where we're at.
we're catching up to it now. Hold
you gotta. Can you show the Facebook comments again? Because there were some good ones.
Yeah.
Somebody said I had Tourette's.
I'm trying to fix. I'm trying to fix the video right now.
See if you can. See if fix the video. Let's do a split screen of this screen and then the Facebook screen so we can see both comments.
Well, you can
I
see
just
them all
I don't
on-
know what's
I might
going.
have to
I don't
take
know
that
why
call,
it's
dude.
not freaking.
I gotta
Yeah,
take this call.
go ahead.
Sorry for the technical difficulties.
Skylar, unplug the GoPro and plug it back in.
Sir, yes, sir.
I mean,
It's right there on that side.
there's some.
It says it's active, but I don't understand why it's not working. Tony,
Yo,
pull that.
this one.
Yeah,
He just did it. He just pulled it.
you pulled it all the way out, plug it back in.
Yeah.
What the frick?
What happens if you hit the what's it called?
What the balls?
If you hit the camera.
It just takes us out to the.
Yeah,
Okay.
it
Now
takes
hit
us
it
to
again.
this, and it brings us back to
Where's your
absolutely nothing.
settings? Go to your settings real quick.
Settings. It's set to GoPro.
Take it off and put it back on. Oh, that's strange. That's weird.
Hello.
We're having some technical difficulties, everybody. Please log back in about 2 seconds.
It's like in freaking Tommy Boy. Well, I'll turn it off if you turn it off. All right, so we're back. Thanks everybody for joining us. We do-
back just in time.
Where's the screen?
Where's the screen? Where are we? All right, so we are back. We appreciate y'all's patience with everybody, with everything.
Yep.
Just
Thank
had to
you. Thank
restart
you.
the
Sorry
camera.
about that. Some technical difficulties.
Are you good on battery,
on
Chad?
there.
It's telling me a red signal up there on the GoPro. So is there
That is the memory card and then the
Okay.
recording light.
too easy?
Yeah.
Does it charge from plugging into the USB right here?
It does.
Okay, so we're
It
good.
does.
All
Can you
right.
show the Facebook comments?
I can show you the Facebook comments.
So it's a new thread.
It's a new thread. Somebody say hello. Make sure that you guys can hear us. Is everything going all right? Let's see. I'm going to turn up his volume
Hello.
here a little bit.
Hello. Yes. How are you?
Make sure because everybody hears. Just the there we go. Sweet.
Thanks,
Good.
Dan.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Dan.
it, man.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Sorry about the technical difficulties, fellas. We're going to get back to Captain Tony Schultz.
We're
over
gonna
here.
get back.
Hold
to-
up. Wait. What do you have in your hand? Because we might not be going to you depending on what's in your hand.
It's
Oh,
Guggen Frog.
Oh. I muted the mic. I muted the mic. You guys can't hear.
So, I go out here on a limb trying to be genuine and honest with the peeps here. Okay, talk about how I basically am a piece of shit for buying this, and you have one and never said a word.
Right.
he made
I
fun
saw
of
that
me for
earlier.
having a gilly, dude.
This was
That's not even
okay.
Guggen
Look,
bait.
listen,
Right.
listen.
He was like, "Oh, you got a Berkeley gilly," and he like called me out.
Well, that's-
so now.
They ripped off.
Look what it says.
who
It
did
says
rip
"eat
off?
me."
Have
Yeah, right.
notice
Come
how
on,
it's
come
never
on.
been tied to
Yes,
anything
yes.
and or pulled out of the plastic. It's not what you guys think it is.
So you're framing it. So you want to know?
It's a collector's item.
That's even
No,
worse.
that's-
That's what I'm hearing.
That's even worse.
It's just one of his extras. He's got like 10 of them in his box.
Oh,
It's the backup one. This is the backup one.
That's what it is.
He
Now
likes
what you
them so
guys
much, he
think?
bought like 10.
You was at Dixon. You got tempted.
That is. It's not a Guggen. It's not a
Looks like a
Guggen
ball
eat
skip.
me frog. I'm telling you right now.
I ain't gonna lie, when they
You
run
can
that
have it.
buy 5 get 5 free sale, I'm always tempted.
I mean, hey, Scott, you see,
For like
you
$3
see
a
that
piece.
black basket down there?
Yeah, man.
Can you take some of the microphone shit out of that and hand that to Rob?
I got you.
The
I know what
basket
you're
or the
doing.
microphone?
I got it. I know. I got it.
You sure?
Yeah. Nah, I know what he's doing.
But
I know what he
so
did
what
there.
we were going over. What were we going over before?
Chop neck, plus baseball.
Chop tank plus base. Yes, we were.
All this stuff.
So I know Rob had a point of is a
Jack could have used this the other day.
is a louder buzz bait always better? I think not.
Me too. I agree.
I think it depends on the day.
That's
Nice.
some real
Just-
ASMR right
That's
there.
Slick.
This is an entire shopping basket full of baits to give away.
Looking for it, Rob.
Oh, you unstole it, didn't you?
That's all it is.
What is that?
There's
Double
Yamamoto's in here. There's some Guggen stuff in here.
No, I want to open this though, so we can compare them.
Big bite bait.
I actually like big bite
Freaking
baits.
name it, man.
Yeah,
I got some
big bite
stuff
baits
in
is
here.
Oh,
The BFE.
it
Yeah.
feels like a straight king.
Yeah.
It's like
Like the
Oh,
KD
yeah.
section.
Jig
bro.
heads in here.
I
mean,
you name it.
I mean, it's not bad, but I
It's
feel
not like it's
so-
not gonna catch fish.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? I just like,
It's definitely a little harder than.
in all seriousness,
That's an OG.
in all seriousness,
That's
we'd
wild.
all be ignorant to say that Guggen baits don't catch fish.
They're imitations of good bait.
Correct. And I don't
You can
like
tell
the
this
way
was
that the
through the
company's run.
plastic.
That's the only reason for it. Like,
Like, you can press this through the plastic. and then it's on.
Yeah, that's an OG.
That's one of
That's
the
why I don't
soft-
like the
That's one of the
split
softest
box.
we're all going to market. That-
I'm giving that away. I just don't know how. You want to put it in
It's
the
all
basket?
needed, right?
Giving it to yourself
I'm not
doesn't
giving-
count.
I was
It's
just-
just
it's just a
Paul
giveaway
Badger.
basket.
Honestly,
We
though,
gotta, so we gotta take that box of baskets.
Everybody
We
be up
gotta
there.
divide it up, and we're gonna put it into different boxes. And we're gonna run a little promo through Bass and Beer Radio for these big giveaways. We're also gonna be donating a couple boxes of baits for some of the runner-up prizes at the Thursday nighters.
So while we're on this subject, and I want to hear the comments, and I want to hear what the fans
Like
or what the followers have to say
It's
about
like
this.
first out of the money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's perfect.
but I think, and my buddy Chad, who I fish with, is an absolute hammer on the reservoirs, and pretty much everywhere, but really on the reservoirs. This guy is a freaking monster, right? Other Chad, the guy I fish
Oh,
with.
the other Jack.
Yeah. So
You better check.
he said he mentioned.
Oh man!
So he mentioned, he's like, why isn't there like an open out here? You know, at the end of the year, not out of Joppatown, right? And I'm just putting the feeler out there. What if we, Bass and Beer Radio, put together a tournament out of Joppatown in the fall when it's good, an all-day tournament, team tournament, $100, whatever. That's the same amount as the Chester Counties, the
Five fish
Conowingos,
limit.
5 fish limit, whatever.
I
And
like it.
I'll tell you that the biggest issue, the biggest reason that there aren't tournaments down there is a lot of the guys that fish tournaments on like Upper Bay
Mhm.
that you get a lot of that draw to. A lot of those guys come from Pennsylvania and Jersey.
yes, no,
Far.
absolutely.
Good
So I mean,
Those
you
far.
got to think like it's, where it might be a half hour for them to get to the Northeast. It's it's
Sure.
an hour to get almost from the Northeast to Joppatown. So
Now, not that I disagree with you, Paul, because you're absolutely correct. But my counterpoint to that is I feel like with Joppatown, you can attract those guys that are downsized a little bit, right? Like look at Riverboat Rob, right? A 16-foot aluminum boat. Like maybe you could attract more guys like that to where they think, okay, I have a shot here. I can get in these canals and get skinny. Whereas maybe the guys the 22 foot or 21 foot.
so
I like
marketing,
taking their money.
marketing,
Makes you feel good, huh?
marketing is the biggest issue there. People, the general idea is the flats are the place to fish. So if it's not on the flats, they don't show up. We did our
That's- I mean,
opens.
it's true,
We had my club has some. We have pretty successful opens.
you guys have the best opens, and any club in the state hosts it by far.
Typically, so
Even Chester County.
So for a while we were having one on the Upper Bay and one on Conowingo, and we were having it on Conowingo when in prime time of the year.
Yeah.
First week in November,
Right.
and you get the same 10 boats that shows up for every Conowingo.
Guys don't go up and fish it.
So
Which is it does, his point's valid, absolutely.
we go in the Bay. We switch them back to the Bay in November.
All kinds of boats.
We get 35 boats every November. So we go from 10 to 35. Now in the springtime, we get upwards of 50 boats depending on weather.
Yeah.
But it's just
A
marketing.
travel?
It's what people think. No, it's not even travel. It's just that people
it's-
think that. So the gunpowder fish is very small.
It does.
It's a very small body of water, and the Upper Bay,
Fish is small but bigger.
it's bigger.
It's big.
It doesn't even fish small because you have the elk, you have the
Yeah, it's
sassafras,
pretty
you have the
big,
northeast,
yeah.
you have the flats, you have the back channel, you have Swan Creek. Like the Upper Bay fishes, it can fish small certain times of the year, but there's always other places to go.
Well,
you
the
can
summer
go up the
is
river,
fish is
you can go,
huge, yeah.
you go up in the river, you can go up in the northeast, like I said. But
Yeah, you got
Joppatown
a lot of
is-
options.
you get 50 boat. If you get 50 boats and it's just in the gunpowder,
Nah, they would have to run.
you know,
A lot of
it's
weather
not
also.
people aren't gonna come down here because they, I think the mindset that people have is, well, why do I drive all the way down there to
Yeah.
have to run all the way up here?
But I still think that Tony has a good point that we could keep some tournaments going on the GP besides the Thursday nighters. And
Oh, I think we could. I just don't think it's gonna be like
love
a-
to see some in the fall.
And well,
Like a
and,
good,
and
like,
let me-
like a big open. I just don't think you're ever gonna draw them.
now,
Right,
let me ask you
yeah,
this,
that's what
and I don't want you to give up any juice unless you
well,
want
the
to.
solstice gets like 30 boats.
Now, you say the gunpowder fish is small. I agree. I think Joppatown fish is exceptionally small.
It does.
Now, are we were to say that the gunpowder, the entire gunpowder, and the surrounding rivers are not competitive?
Dude, I've also been.
100% they are.
If you have a money tournament out of Joppatown, I'm running the flats.
That's what I was gonna say. I would say you're right. The fish is small inside the bridge, and everybody's gonna run.
There's too many. So
100%. Everybody's gonna
there's
run.
not a big enough population of big fish in the gunpowder
There's
to.
not enough space for.
You
it.
can.
I'm going to just say yes to that.
So
Yeah,
what
I
I
will
mean,
agree
Rob,
with that.
is yes, you can catch a big bag in the gunpowder,
Yeah.
but if you take 5 boats on the flats and you take 5 boats in the gunpowder,
Odds are,
one
right.
boat on the gunpowder is going to catch them.
Right.
Four of the boats on the flats are going to catch.
I
I
guess.
say five, but the 5 guys within Joppatown are gonna probably go relatively to the same area too.
Oh, you're going to see.
I mean, they're gonna probably
Exactly.
be. I guarantee it.
We
They're
just talked about how.
man.
I mean, it changes.
Like,
relatively. I'm not saying
it
they're exact,
changes.
but I think
We just
relatively,
talked
man.
about how Tony, Paul, me, and
Yep. Yeah,
and you
I mean,
were
that's
all
what I'm
kind of. We
Like,
could all
what-
see
okay.
each other.
There's just a
Sure,
higher
but
there's a
Yeah.
higher population of
God damn.
tournament winning fish.
Now I know why they were getting rid of the
Now,
street.
I know what Greg's saying too. Greg's saying not yet, but it's getting there.
I was actually going to say that.
It
Now,
will be
and I think,
until it gets good and they
and-
all get pulled out and taken to the northeast.
and I'm not going to spill. I'm not going to
It can work both
spill.
ways.
I'm not going to spill Greg's
Yeah.
beans here, but I know Greg had. I think it was a 4th place finish in the SQT, fishing
Third, I think.
3rd or 4th, which is really solid out of Dundee.
Right.
And fished local. I don't even know if I should say where he didn't fish because I
No,
don't want
no,
to blow
he
up
fished
his
local.
juice.
He fished
Um,
local.
But it was
he fished local. He had a good bag.
He had a great bag.
I think he had 17 pounds.
yeah.
Which was a good bag in there. This spring the gunpowder fished really well.
Yeah,
I that same tournament. I fished that same tournament. If I broke off 2 4-pounders, I landed those 2 fish. I have 18 pounds, and that was that was out of Joppatown. I was
loves the Dundee. Dundee used to be the river, like back
So,
in the day.
My uncle, the guy that launches his bass boat with a compact car, went
He
out.
is an absolute legend.
Went out.
Amazing.
What was it? I guess Monday evening or Tuesday, and had 3 nice fish out of the saltpeter.
Oh, saltpeter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, and he actually sent me pictures. They were, and like this guy, I love him. He's not, but he cannot fish to save his life. And he caught 3 nice
He's
fish.
watching.
Like, no, he's not.
I caught.
Like,
I caught
they're
fish-
over there. Like,
I caught good fishing in Dundee this spring.
oh yeah, like, and that's what I'm saying is, I think that, and to Greg's point, I think that in 3-4 years, this place will be competitive in a smaller scale to the flats. I don't think you're going to have, I think it'll be at a disadvantage. But if you know South, if you know the Dundee, Saltpeter, Joppatown areas outside of the train
River.
bridge, you'll be able to compete and do well.
I think you can
Maybe even like
it's an all
Frog
possible.
Mortar, Sioux Creek, Frog Mortar, Little River.
Oh yeah,
There's
back
so
in the
many,
day, I
there's so
mean,
many rivers.
It's absolutely possible to win a tournament, to win a single day tournament down here. I think it's absolutely possible. The
single day.
3-day tournament.
the difference is, well, I actually think it's better for a 3-day
Aaron
tournament, and I'll tell you
Martin's did
that.
it.
I'll tell you that in a second. So a single day tournament, if you're launching, say, out of the Northeast, if you have a tournament on the Upper Bay, it's going to take on average, 20 to 23 pounds to win. You could do that in a gunpowder, absolutely. But
For sure.
multiple people aren't going to do that in a gunpowder.
Yeah, agreed.
You might have one good bag that comes out of the gunpowder, where on the Upper Bay, you'll have
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
perfect example. I fished a Chester County up there one time, had a tough day, managed to scrape together 18 pounds, thought we did pretty good, ended up 29th place.
So
29th place with 18
to that point, so far Lunker this year has only been 4-pounder, basically. Under 5.
Yeah,
On
they'll
gunpowder.
show up.
Oh, I know they will. Trust me. But I'm
I
just
mean,
saying.
you can't take a lot of stock in this
on
week
Upper
either
Bay.
because of the water cost.
A 4-pounder on Upper Bay is a thanks for coming fish.
That's what I'm
Right.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
You
A 4-pounder on gunpowder is still a good fish.
if you want to win a
Yeah.
bunker on the Upper
Yeah,
Bay,
5's
you're
a big
gonna,
fish.
6,
you need
7.
a 6
Yeah.
to have a shot.
No, absolutely. But no, I mean, I still think it would be fun. I think if we decided, hey, we're going to do an all day tournament, you would get a couple guys that will come down. Like between our 2 clubs, you might have a couple boats that draw. I don't know.
I think you would get enough boats to make it worth it.
Oh,
I just think
definitely.
You're not going to have a great tournament, like a fantastic.
no, like you might get 20 boats.
You'd
That's
see a
an
lot more boats
absolute.
leave.
Solstice is 30.
You will.
That's true. So
I would-
This is 30, but the
So
very next
average is
week it
about
was
30.
it was about 20.
Just
wasn't
a
it?
nice little
18.
launch to go
It
somewhere.
was 18.
Yeah, Thursday nighters are
So the solstice.
18.
I mean, that would be
Scott-
great in my opinion in the fall time of 15 to 18 birds. That'd be fantastic.
That's probably a good
Scott and Greg and MR Bass have done a really good job of promoting that, and a lot of
Yeah.
people fish that because they know the money goes to stocking.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah,
that's
sure,
where the
the calls.
proceeds go.
Right.
So they, a lot of people. There's a lot of people that come out every year just to fish that to support that cause,
And it is
and,
great.
and support MR Bass. So that's why you get such a good turnout there, and that tournament's been around for a long time. I mean, it's been around for quite a while. So that
Has it changed
Please.
location though, or has it always
Always
been at
was.
American?
They ran one Thursday night last year out of Middle River.
I ran it.
Yeah, they
Out of
did.
Middle River.
I didn't, that's the only one I didn't
And
fish.
what boat?
I didn't fish that one.
John boat.
somebody else.
You launched in Middle River?
Did you run?
Yeah, I
you
launched
ran
at
the
Wilson.
gunpowder,
Oh shit.
We launched at Wilson Point.
and you ran the gunpowder, or you stayed over there and fished?
No. So they launched the tournament
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
Wilson Point.
Because I ran down to Joppatown. It's horrible. And
Yeah.
we're way back. So I fished
That
with
was
you.
you.
I fished with
That
you.
was awful.
terrible.
We launched
Was
Wilson
the only
Point.
one
We
I didn't
stayed in
fish
there.
from
and-
there.
Yeah, that was bad. I was like, God,
We,
this sucks.
Yeah, so, somebody else won that tournament. I don't know.
Some asshole won that tournament. Probably one of our viewers, so we apologize.
No, it was him.
Probably.
Oh, then
That was funny because
You did win that one. I did remember. It's the only one I fished.
I had one almost.
Cheers.
I had one
Keep
almost
it
six
down.
in that tournament.
Keep it
But
down.
I remember
The,
hearing
I'm
that
gonna put a
you
screw.
ran to the gunpowder.
I did. So
Yeah.
on the way back,
Everybody in the top 3 ran down.
Skylar was talking about how rough it was. So I'm up in the gunpowder and we're out of the wind and I'm looking at the top of the trees. And this is the first tournament my wife has ever fished with me.
Really?
So she's never been out in rough water. And I'm looking at the trees and I'm like, and I know the direction.
It's gonna be a fun ride.
And I'm like, man, this is gonna suck. So it's like, we're doing it at 9 o'clock. And it would take 15 minutes to get from Middle River. And I said, all right, it's 8:30. We better start heading back. And she looks at me and goes, well, it took us 15 minutes to get here. I was like, I know. never said a word. Came out as soon as we hit the mouth of the gunpowder. There were 3-footers all day.
That was so bad.
Yeah. We tried.
She took it like a champ. I mean, she didn't freak out or
So
anything.
we
know
tried
what's
to run
funny,
through
though?
it first.
We got airborne like 4 times.
2 seconds in, we were like, nah.
I had to hammer down. I was like, I don't give a shit. And then my back tapped me on the shoulder. Was like, hey, stop. I was like, okay.
But what's funny is, so they did that one derby where you launched out of Wilson Point last year.
Nice.
And everybody, like you said, the top 3 ran to the gunpowder.
Yeah.
But I do remember derbies last year, Thursday nighters, where people did the opposite.
Ran the Middle River.
They ran the Dundee and stuff. Yeah.
I
Not
remember-
all the way to Middle River.
I remember a Thursday nighter where a couple boats ran to the flats last year.
Yeah, in Dorchester.
Yeah.
Michael and Troy and
And they
Victor
won
Logan.
it too.
Yeah.
Well,
Then-
Mike didn't make it back
They
that
got
day
second.
because it got
I
rough.
think
I
Victor
don't
got
think
second.
Victor did it.
They got second.
No, Victor made it back. Mike and Troy did.
Gotcha.
I remember someone
think they got
running up
second.
there. It might have been Victor. I don't remember, but it was like they were in the money, and Scott was like, "Well, here's your gas money back."
Yeah, because
Oh, could you imagine that now?
Bro,
Like,
You don't even get your gas money back.
Yeah.
You know?
listen, I never understood that. I mean, it's just not, to me, it's just not worth it to make that run for
To win the Thursday
for a
nighter,
Thursday nighter.
right.
It's, $50 buy-in.
now, would you run it like the SAS? That's not that far. You wouldn't even go that far.
No, the SAS is just as far as running the flats. So the flats are actually shorter.
I'm not running the Bush River.
Really?
So
Well, the
the
bush
SAS,
is huge, by the way. Like,
so the problem with the SAS is it's not the top of the SAS.
you gotta
is
go.
closer,
Yeah, you
but
gotta go back in.
to fish anything that I want to fish in the SAS, like I got to run way up the SAS.
You're not
So,
going into Turner's.
I mean, Turner's is still if you
I mean, it's
if you
not
take the amount
halfway.
if you take the amount of time it takes you to get back to Turner's, like just take it out this way, you'll be on the flats.
You're probably right.
It's about the same distance to get to Turner's.
At least on the southern end of the flats, where you could start fishing and have
Right.
a shot.
Dude, that chair.
Keep it down.
I know, dude. I can't, dude. My
Keep
freaking
it
my
down.
arm is like I don't even know what to do right now.
So, Greg said you just gotta have a fast boat, dude.
Oh no, it's not about having a fast boat break. It's just not worth it.
Brian, where we
It's not about time. It's about money.
There it is.
So
For real?
I was
for
gonna
a
suggest that.
Thursday
Yeah, we
night
got it
tournament
now. Yeah, it's on now.
that you might win a couple hundred bucks in, especially with gas prices now. I know exactly how much gas I'll burn if I run to the flats. I've done it many times.
It's way too much.
So I'm gonna burn a half a tank of gas running up and back, and a half a tank of gas is
Rob, you should have brought your gaming headset.
so.
I'm gonna have to bring mine. I'll bring mine.
A half a tank of gas. That's 25 gallons of gas.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna burn 25 gallons of gas
Do
to
you have
win
1 or 2 tanks in your
one tank, 148 gallon tank. So
Wow.
I'm gonna
Okay.
burn 25 gallons of gas to win a couple $100. Like it's
Yeah,
just
no,
not.
it
It's
doesn't
not.
make sense.
It's just not worth it.
No, it's not. Now, I don't know if you guys were listening to the show that when we had Cliff Sanders on, my old coach in college. So he used to fish, like the Lake Barkley, Kentucky Lake, and all that stuff. He told us numerous tournaments where he was running 3 hours from launch, filling up his boat once on the way and like once or twice on the way back.
Damn.
And
Well,
sometimes it works, and sometimes to me though, I'm not doing it. Like if I got to run more than an hour, and the specific case is you're launching a tournament out of Dundee, and I'm going to go up, and
Right.
even then I've only done that like 3 or 4 times, and it's
Is it like an hour run?
it's up there. I mean it requires some time for sure.
Yeah.
Like
For a
It can
3 hour
take-
tournament too.
well, I'm not doing it for that, but I mean. Every time I've done it, it's taken me about an hour because I haven't had great conditions to do it. Like, remember the SQT in
How did you think
2018?
you would? Yeah, it took me 35 minutes to get there that year.
No. The one where it was like
Yeah, it took me. I was the second boat to get up there.
You did, I thought you didn't even
No,
go all
me
the way
and,
up.
me and Mike Kaiser passed every 20-foot boat on the way up.
Dude, if there
To the-
was
I thought you went into the bush that tournament.
Oh, no, you're right. I did go to the
Paul's
bush.
like my
Okay.
lower unit, bro.
If there was if there was a trophy for getting there first, Paul would win that shit. Whether it's to the sign up or
Paul
weigh in,
to the
whatever.
sign
That's because Paul don't care.
You're like, hey, Paul,
Especially when I'm in the
you're fishing this derby, Paul. Yeah, I signed up.
So is it
2
the same?
seconds after the.
But is it the same way if it's not a job? If it's not a Joppa?
Oh no,
No,
Okay, I was gonna say I know he's
Dude,
like
I
right there
thought
at Joppa. So
no.
no. If I got a tournament in the Northeast, I'm rolling up like half hour before I got to put the boat in. Maybe.
yeah,
That's
I'm just saying, Paul is very punctual.
I live a mile and a half from the ramp, and for
Well,
me, I can
that's
sit.
good.
I can sit in my driveway and rig up my rods, or I can just sit in the parking lot
And be
rig up my
boat
rods.
one.
You know, so it doesn't make it's, to me. It's
be a boat one.
not taking any. You know, it's not taking any of my time away because I was going to be doing the same thing.
Well,
Just in my driveway.
Greg is saying from Wilson Point to Bush is like 16 minutes.
How much?
That's pretty close. So
in
No,
a
not
fast,
my
in a
boat.
fast boat.
Not my boat.
in a
That
fast
shit
boat,
was 2 days.
I can make it. I can make it in my boat from Dundee to the railroad bridge in the bush in about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
That's not bad. That's not as bad as I thought it was. I mean, like I said, I don't do a lot of long runs. Now I
Maybe a
do
little longer
them.
than that, but
I've done them in like when I used to fish the college series and stuff. When we go to Kentucky Lake, Smith Mountain Lake, where you really need to make the runs. But here it's like, you know, if we're launching any, I don't care what tournament it is. If I'm launching out of Dundee, I know Joppatown well enough to have a shot at Joppatown.
And that's a
So-
short run.
Right.
I can do that in my boat.
Now, the last SQT that I fished, which is the only SQT that I fished because I was a substitute boat, I did go up north. That was in 2018, and it was like the waves were so bad you'd get in one and you couldn't see over it.
I speared
It
a
was
couple of them.
nasty. It was horrible. I speared one, and the wave hit me in the face so hard it broke the sunglasses on my
Damn.
face. Like,
Long-
it
oh
sucked.
shit.
It was bad,
Damn.
dude.
So you bring up long runs, and you sometimes it's worth it. But if you're really on them, I can remember an Elite Series tournament a few years ago on the St. Lawrence where Brandon Palaniuk ran from Messina to Lake Ontario. He had 2 hours to fish by the time he got to his spot.
Wow.
And he ended up winning an Elite Series tournament, fishing 2 hours a day.
Didn't Jason Christie just win one?
He did the same thing, on the
He had,
on the Red
like,
River.
Take weight off his boat to make sure he had enough gas to even make it happen.
Yeah, because they gave him a
How
cameraman.
far
and
is it
everything.
going?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In
So
fact, that's what's funny about that. The new express boats they specifically because of that tournament they put
Make
a
a
larger
bigger-
gas tank in.
Right, because that's what he had the express boat.
that's actually cool as shit.
Dude, he like seriously had to had his gas timed perfect.
Yeah.
He barely would make it. Like it
Now-
When they added a cameraman, he wasn't sure if he was going to have enough gas to make it back. He
Right.
actually pulled every rod he knew he wouldn't need out of his boat, every bit of tackle out of his boat. He had a box of spinner baits. He said he had a box of spinner baits, a box of creature baits, and a box of jigs. That's all he had in his boat.
Now it does help when you're not necessarily paying for your own gas. And I'm not taking anything away from
No,
these guys
yeah,
on the Elite
yeah.
Series, but the sponsorship, at least back in the day, was a major thing. Today, it's not. It seems like it's actually
No.
fallen off.
You would say those guys pay a lot more than
But
what
All
you
of them, or the little guys, like the big name guys, like I don't even want to say Scott Martin.
So
like
they're
the-
making a living out of it, but you have to.
Zaldane and Ike. And,
You also-
yeah.
You also have to
Jeremy
remember,
Furlong.
like you're only thinking on the tournament aspect. Those guys have obligations to do X amount of shows per year. They
That's
have
true.
they have to
That's
do
true.
X amount of YouTube videos. That's all part of their sponsorships.
Well, it's a job.
It's a job.
It's a job.
It's not just they go out and fish a tournament for a week and and they get paid for it. Well, cool. If they win, they get some money.
I almost
from
feel
it,
like the
but-
winnings is bonus money for them. You know what I mean? Because like it's more like the name and the connection to the
Some of
sponsor.
it depends on your sponsorship.
Well,
So sometimes sponsors will, as part of your sponsored deal will be they will pay for your entry fees
Or your
and they get a
hotel.
percentage of whatever you
I
win.
mean, when your entry fees are
Really?
almost $2,000
I didn't know
for an
that.
entry fee, though.
Um,
You know what I mean?
go up.
Yeah, it's more.
Yeah, yeah, probably more than
Elite
that.
Series.
Okay, yeah.
Elite
Five?
Series, like 6.
I'll say, but the
Six
money
foot
you're
one.
saving
Yeah.
with sponsorships, like, as far as what, like baits, rods, whatever it is, and entry fees and stuff like that, gas, whether they're getting paid for it or not, they're saving a bunch of money.
But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is when you get a sponsor, that's you work for them.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not
Yeah,
it's not free.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
You know what I mean?
and that's
They
so
expect
If you don't
so much
work
from
for
you.
them, they're dropping you.
Right.
If you
Yeah,
don't put
exactly.
if you don't put in the work to
So-
promote their business, you're getting dropped.
So a lot of people don't understand that the pro staff, right? And I went through all this when I did the college team, when I really didn't know anything about fishing, but when I started the college team at VMI, what they
36,000
For
for
a
the
season.
elite entry fee
For
Yeah,
the
that's pretty
season.
crazy.
That's the season.
for the
Right.
season.
Even
right.
still,
For the season.
Ooh.
Still,
That's about right.
That's
I think
a
it's
good, I'd
I,
say that's a pretty decent sponsor right yonder.
I want to
Yeah.
They're
say
taking care of that.
so pro staff, right, does not mean professional staff. It's promotional staff. So like you get all these YouTubers and all these, local guys, nothing against them that go to whatever company they want and there's, hey, I want to be on your pro staff. And these companies, they say, well, do you understand the obligations
I'm on.
of being on the promotion? Like me with Ardent, right? I posted something on my thing today about Ardent. Like every fishing jersey I've ever had made for college fishing has Ardent right on the front because they always helped us out, right? And stuff like that. So
And we
I'm
should
all
have
about
we should
promotion.
have Arden on.
We should.
Passion Beer Radio. We should.
I'm also on the Arden Pro staff.
Are you?
Okay.
Both of you?
See, look, we got 2 Arden pro
I own-
staff on
I
here.
own 2 Arden rods.
I'm trying to get.
Everything I have is Ardent. I love it.
I don't.
I'm trying
2 out of your,
But I'm still on the
2 out of your 4 rods.
Dude, my,
Two out of his
Two out
four.
of my 35.
the rock hill I have, I
I'm
love.
trying very hard
I'm
to
also
get
on the
my YouTube sponsored. But the only sponsor that I really care about is Jose Cuervo. That's really all I want, dude. I work for Jose Cuervo, whatever they want.
You can probably put that in your gas.
Yeah, I
You'll
put
see
in my
him.
gas.
Hey, he's
My
got that
boat
old
might
40.
my boat might be 70 with
When you-
Jose in there.
When you see Rob start putting out 4 videos a week, you know he got that sponsorship.
No, absolutely.
Shoot, if you could have any sponsor, who would it be?
Any sponsor?
He's gonna say Mega Bass.
I'm gonna say Strike.
Yeah, he called it right out. I would mega
Strike
bass
King?
instantly.
Because when you and the reason why I say that is if you talk about one sponsor, right? I want somebody that has everything.
Well, that's what I wanted to know.
So
Like,
are we
who
talking?
really-
Are we talking a bait sponsor or?
I was gonna say that's just.
Well, yeah, let's go bait. Let's go bait. Let's go bait.
Well, that's the most important thing.
right. Yeah, let's go bait.
I say
I would
Strike
still
King.
go-
I was thinking baits when
I was still gonna mega bass.
I knew that. Like I knew.
Well, Mega Bass really has everything.
Oh,
I
Mega
mean,
Bass.
everything.
They've got most. They've got most things. I don't like some of their creature baits and stuff.
I'm very.
But I'm
I
not a
will
big fan
say,
of their
I will
soft
say,
plastic.
I have not ever thrown any of the mega bass soft plastics.
What the hell is Mega
Oh, what's
Bass
that?
creature bait? I couldn't even tell you now.
They have a.
That's what I mean. Like,
They have.
That's a good point because I can't even think of it.
They have one that I actually. There's one that I actually kind of like.
I went, dude. OSP
They make a
makes
nice
a lot
strike
of
bait.
really nice.
I like-
I,
We don't
I
talk
just,
about that.
I just throw like some
OSP?
juice
We'll talk
on
about
it
that,
okay.
right now. I'll tell you, some of the plastics from that company.
That's a
Look,
tough question.
let me
that I
let me
asked
say
'cause
this.
I can't think of an answer myself.
And I don't think he watches, but I wish he would. Travis in my club, if he's got an OSP spinnerbait in your hand and you're on the back of somebody's boat, you might as well just pack it in.
I witnessed it.
It's
OSP.
ridiculous.
I witnessed it.
It's ridiculous. Like it's insane.
What's
That dude
OSP
has caught
spinnerbait?
lunker in our club 3 tournaments in a row on a freaking OSP spinnerbait on days where everyone else is scratching.
The Mega
their head.
Bass spinner bait.
Like,
I don't know. I don't know what I would do for a bait sponsor.
I was trying to think of it myself. I asked the
I mean,
question
I
now.
just-
I'm like, I don't know.
There's so many different like
Yeah.
variables.
I
and,
fished
like,
so many
bait
different baits.
sponsorships, I think. Yeah.
Like I mean,
You know what?
different brand, homemade,
Depth,
big mouth
dude.
lure, Strike King.
Depth.
I mean, I would probably
Why am I
go.
getting a headset now? Why? How come I get a headset now?
I'm
Is it
gonna-
Jose Cuervo comment?
Because you're cool.
You know what, Rob? I'm gonna
It gets me a headset.
I'm gonna make Chad mad, and I would probably go Berkeley.
Ah!
I probably I fish more Berkeley baits than probably anything else.
I don't know. I like to fish baits that are like
I'm pretty mixed, man.
kind of unusual. So I would go like Reaction Innovations or something.
Yeah, they got some good ones.
They do, yeah, they do. Have some
I like a lot of their trailers.
Yeah, I'm going with Reaction.
Spicy Beaver.
Innovations.
The Spicy Beaver is the best one. Jake Trail.
Got a good creature bait, some classic,
Oh yeah, yeah. The beaver, the man bear pig.
The spicy beaver.
I've never fished it, but it's the best named bait.
Okay.
That's your adjustment if you want to adjust it.
Plus they have the,
I'm
you know,
wilding now.
Is it good?
they got all the they have all the dirty names for the colors, you know, which
Yeah.
just makes me laugh.
Oh,
every
dude,
time.
like back in the day, you know, they come with like
Yeah.
pictures of like naked chicks and stuff.
What? That's where the Vixen came from. You know?
Yeah, the
Vixen had
Vixen,
the Vixen had
yeah.
the-
Can I be sponsored by them?
That's who I picked.
I said
That was my pick, dude.
I said
Reaction Innovations, dude.
Berkeley.
Oh, I like them a lot.
Yeah.
I like Reaction Innovations a lot.
Berkeley's, like I said, Berkeley soft
Chad,
plastics are.
Berkeley's a little slept on these days, I think.
Berkeley makes some
You
plastic baits.
cannot sleep on the Maxent. The Maxent. I do
General?
not fish a Yamamoto Senko. Literally, I do not fish a Yamamoto.
Well, you fix the general,
I fish a General
Yeah.
24/7.
the general, the flatworm.
That's like
I mean,
their
Berkeley has a
stick
lot
bait,
of good
right?
baits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Their Senko style stick bait. The flatworm, the flatworm's good. I mean, the flatworm speaks for itself. Almost every tournament.
Oh, Kyle, he did say what their creature baits was.
The bottle shrimp, yeah, that's the
The
one that I was
bottle
thinking
shrimp.
of, Kyle.
Oh, I've seen that. It
I
looks,
never saw
I
it.
don't.
I never saw it.
It's got these two long, like long arms that stick out of it.
Like a
And-
brush hog?
No, they're not. They don't flat. They're just like straight arms,
Really?
like a crawfish arm, like crawfish arms. But they're like they stick out like this far from the bait.
I never
It's
saw
cool
that.
bait.
Have you guys thrown, so speaking of big bite baits, have you thrown the BFE?
Third with you. You remember that day?
Oh, that's right, we threw it.
Oh,
I have not.
Oh,
Try it.
best flipper ever, that's what it stands for.
Is that actually what it stands
Yeah,
for?
BFE means best flipper ever.
That,
Yeah.
that
Bradley,
hey,
Bradley Hallman and Matt Pangrat.
if you would have asked me if that's what if you would have told me that's what it stood for after the day we fished it, I would have believed it.
Right, because we did, we
It was
smashed them with it.
And we fished that spot for like 20 minutes.
If
Yeah,
that
I'm,
was
it was
it.
just straight fire, dude.
if I'm flipping 9 times out of 10, it's
A jig.
How heavy is that, Paul?
That's a half ounce.
Okay. See, now I'm not gonna say who, but a guy who I fish with who's an incredibly good
where's-
fisherman.
Where's
He
where's
will always say,
where's
Bandito
Chad?
bug is fire.
Where's Chad?
Bass and Beer Radio approved.
Brian Wheeler said, "Do you like
Oh.
the Bandito bug?" Isn't
Now-
that's the Guggen?
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
I've caught fish on it.
now my buddy who's an
It's a
absolute
striking-
So we talking about jigs?
yes. So my buddy who's an absolute hammer says, "Go heavy or go home, no matter what." I'm talking like we'll fish Conowingo, fishing in 5-6 foot of water, 3/4 ounce. Don't matter. Doesn't matter.
So
Like,
Oh, really?
I
and he
rarely.
Oh,
whacks the
I'm
shit
the
out of
exact
fish.
opposite.
That- me too, right?
So if I'm flipping a jig, I rarely throw less than a half ounce. The only time that I throw less than a half ounce is if I'm fishing very shallow water.
Now, what if you're casting it to cover?
If I'm casting it to cover, it's
Same thing.
I don't own a football jig less than a half ounce.
Really?
Really?
I feel like you get
Okay.
more bites on the fall.
See, I'm a 3/8
That's why I
guy.
like-
I'm
like,
a big
yeah.
3/8 guy.
Well,
The
like,
reason
wait,
so you
Hey,
get
read
less,
out Brian's comment, dude.
so you might think you're
This
getting
guy's trying to kill it. What's it, Christmas? Look at this.
you might-
Guggen made squads plastics are far superior.
Oh, Guggen squeak.
Hey,
Hey, read
Chad,
that.
how do you
Yes,
block
Tom.
Tom? How do
Tom,
you
they
block
are Bass and Beer
Tom,
approved.
that is the best way to get blocked from this.
We just found out how to do that, by the
So
way.
We ain't got no viewers.
I will say though, like on a serious note, I have heard good things about the Bandito.
I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
on
like-
a serious note,
Scott Martin designed it, so it's got to be decent.
Did you bring
No,
the two
Strike
picks?
King designed it.
No. So the patent infringement.
Oh, that's a crack and crawl.
The patent.
That-
So there was a
that's
patent infringement on the Bandito bug also,
Right.
but it was in the way that they designed the pinchers. It's like the
tongue.
it's like the
Like a frosty.
the rage.
It's supposed to come out.
What did I miss? I just missed it.
It's like a frosty.
That was
He's
like-
like, he's like,
I said, did you bring me a toothpick? And he was like, just tongue it.
Hey, he did it. How'd you do it?
Yeah. Oh,
Did you really?
tongue it.
Um,
I'm not that good.
so the reason you throw a heavier jig,
We
Rob,
just made eye
you're not necessarily getting as many bites on the fall, but you're getting a reaction bite. So when it comes down, when you throw a 3/4 ounce jig, like I'll flip a 3/4 ounce jig and drop it down.
Right.
But if I'm on a
Pretty
good
good.
flipping blade, and it's because it's hitting so fast.
Right.
So when it comes
I know
down
what
and
you're
hits
saying, too.
like that, I didn't mean to hit your table that hard.
No, it's a good.
So when it comes down and it hits the bottom like that, they'll just boom. and
Do
they'll
you
just
do
go.
you think that the heavyweight has a lot to do with
That's a good jello shot.
It was good.
That's a good jello
No,
shot.
good.
Like, that's not.
I'm glad I got
That's,
the
that's
lime.
more. That's more head design.
The lime one was really good.
Mine's really good.
I mean, I can throw
So what you're saying?
3/8, half, 3/4.
So you think with a lighter weight,
They're pretty light, Paul.
like for my philosophy,
They're pretty light.
for my philosophy, Paul, is it falls slow to their face, right?
I think that's
You're
important with
saying
certain
that-
things.
Maybe I can do too much time to think about it. Goes by
Exactly.
real quick.
It's
I'm
just
looking,
straight
I'm
reaction.
looking for a reaction right when I'm done.
That's what
makes
my
sense.
buddy says.
I throw a lot of, even when I'm flipping plastics, I throw a lot of heavier weights. Like I know we talked about this when we fished on Monday.
So,
So if I'm flipping, I'm throwing
back to
3/8,
comments real quick.
half ounce.
So,
I'm throwing a lot of.
Oh, okay. So that's a really good
I like-
question.
I like the
Serious
throw
note
for all-
on Tom.
Gamakatsu.
Let me,
All the way. Every
let me,
hook I own is Gamakatsu.
before we skip the time real quick, Brian, yeah, I believe you. The Bandito bug probably catches them. dude.
Yeah.
You know?
I've heard a lot of good things about the Bandito bug, but honestly, dude, if there's that may be the only freaking thing from Guggen that you see.
The
in my
Kraken
book. I've heard a
cross,
lot of
very
really good things about the.
Well, my
Bandito
brother-
bug.
I think I said this on the show before. My brother loves whatever their whopper plopper imitation is. I don't know the name of it, but he loves it, dude. He's
I
Whopper,
don't
Whopper.
like, dude. It's like the Berkeley.
it's like the Whopper
I just
chopper or
can't
something like that.
get behind that. You know what I mean?
So while it's
So-
a similar style bait, I will say that the Berkeley Chopo. So
It's a good
if
bait.
you've ever fished if you fished a whopper plopper, you'll know that
It's probably a different
it's got
tone.
it's got a soft rubber tail.
Yeah.
The Chopo is a hard plastic tail.
Dan
It makes
loves
a
the Chopo.
totally different sound and it's got a lot more disturbance on the water. So it does give you a different action.
Has
So
anyone
I can
gotten-
see that there's like a time and a place for
Has
each.
anyone gotten one of those Weston? It's the whole body of it soft.
The Weston?
The Weston.
Yes.
They make some nice baits.
There might be some in that giveaway. But
It's a top. It literally looks just like a whopper plopper, but it's soft plastic.
The
And
helicopter lure.
You're right. And then I got one in a.
Did
I
you
got
see
a.
that? Did you watch Ben Milliken at all?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you see his helicopter lure video?
No, I did
He
not.
smashed him in a pond on
You
the
know,
helicopter lure.
Ben Milliken, speaking of Guggen and all that, Ben Milliken has a video where he cuts
The
6
Milliken
cents crankbait open and a Guggen crankbait. He cuts them open. And
Oh, he was
saying they
Jeez.
stole the crankbait from 6 cents.
So what?
He does like all these, he like weights
I like
on
6
boats and
cents
all this
crankbait.
stuff.
So what happened? So what happened with that is, and this happened. This is why you get a lot of those ripoffs, like that you get from Guggen or from various other companies that that start up. Especially for crankbaits, is most of those crankbaits are manufactured in China.
Mhm.
So
You can
the
see
China-
manufacturers.
So the Chinese company that has the molds, and they'll sell the molds to other companies.
right.
So they'll change like the eye shape in the mold.
And that's just enough. It's got to be like what, like 10%
Right.
or whatever.
Here's the sweat.
But
So-
at what point? So like now, there's so much stuff out there. At what point do you actually just start to overlap at this point?
So what I started doing.
Well, you have to have a good patent. And so the reason
It's
the
a 10%
reason-
clause, right?
Right, that's what I'm saying though. But
And
like that's a lot. That's 90%.
you have
still
to-
have the same.
you have to patent.
Look at boats.
I mean, there's so much overlap. To be
Right.
fair,
The chatterbait's a good story of how they did it.
I'll tell you about patents in a second.
Uh,
Like as far as your overlap, if you look at any soft plastic manufacturer, they all have the same baits.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Everyone's got a
to
brush hog.
Everybody has a beaver style bait. Everybody has a brush style bait. Everybody's got a Senko style bait.
Yeah.
Every manufacturer. There's very few that are actually relatively unique. Roboworm's a good one. Roboworm's relatively unique.
I think
Not a lot of companies really make that. And
I
it's
think the
not because
Holston
of
worm is pretty unique as well.
Yeah.
the reason that Roboworm is able to kind of have that niche market is all Roboworms are hand poured.
Right.
So they're not run through a manufacturing facility. So
But for example,
5150
the
gets pretty
chatterbait-
close with their worms, but I don't think they're as good though. They have a different texture and a different thickness.
they don't have that. If you look at the bottom of a Roboworm, you'll tell why it's different than any other worm like that.
Yeah, it's got that texture
the
difference
front half of it.
for sure.
The
Absolutely.
bottom layer is all salt.
We
Yep.
talked about this on the
Mhm.
show though before. The chatterbait, they patent how the blade hooked to the head.
Correct.
So you could copy 90% of the bait, but
Not the hook. I got it.
not
And that's the
Not
most
really,
important
not
part of it
really.
right there.
Right.
Like,
Right.
Whatever.
So that was super smart that they did that.
That
Like,
was the most
yeah.
important.
Like we got 5 guys sitting at this table who know pretty much a lot about bass fishing, especially in this area where chatterbait is king. Who here is going to tie on a thunder cricket before they tie on a chatterbait?
I've caught. So I will.
A jackhammer.
I'll give up some.
No,
I'll,
thunder
Or a
cricket.
chatterbait.
A thunder cricket.
I'll give
Thunder
up.
cricket.
I'll give up some
A
juice
thunder
for this
cricket
year.
over what?
A chatterbait.
Or a jackhammer.
Just
He
an
said-
original chatterbait.
Any of them.
The original chatterbait is still like the best chatterbait besides jackhammer.
I can't go wrong.
I mean,
Just-
so
no,
I mean, if
for
you're
the
going to
thunder
compare, a
I-
thunder cricket to a
I've caught
jackhammer,
I've caught fish 2 to 1 on a thunder cricket this year.
Really?
Versus jackhammer.
Really?
Really?
I have absolutely smashed them on thunder cricket this year.
I did well on a thunder cricket this year as well, but
There's
I
some
also did
JDM.
well on a jackhammer.
I mean, I've had good days on a jackhammer, but overall, throughout like all of the spring, I caught way more fish on thunder cricket.
I mean, that's
Really?
juice. I mean, that's juice if you guys are listening right now. I mean,
That's
the,
huge juice.
The thunder cricket it is like a jackhammer.
It's a Strike King jack.
Don't
It's
worry, I
a
didn't
Strike
go up
King
with you.
jackhammer. Their colors are really good. I mean, the bill starts flipping really good, similar to a jackhammer, but it puts off a different vibration and it puts off a different tone of sound
And that's the
that
key.
is different from the jackhammer.
So if I'm fishing, say on the upper bay, if I'm on the flats, I have 3 different brands of chatterbaits tied on at any given time. You can go through a grass bed, especially in the springtime. So I can make a pass through a grass bed with a jackhammer and I'll catch them. I'll come back through, I won't catch them. Go back through again, I don't catch them. I'll pick up a different brand of chatterbait that has a different vibration, go through that same exact chatterbait and start catching them again.
Yep.
So think about if you're fishing a tournament out on the flats where it's a parking lot and there are 50 boats throwing jackhammers, you don't want to be throwing a jackhammer.
I put the
Show them
original
something a little
one.
different,
Show
right?
them something different. You know,
But the original one. The
You
legend.
never
a lot of
asked,
times, so now sometimes they'll be keyed into that vibration on a jackhammer, and that's the only thing that you can catch them on. Or the thunder cricket, or the
legend.
or various the original chatterbait, whatever it might be, and that might be the one that they're eating. But if I'm fishing in a crowd, which often happens on the Potomac, it happens on the flats all the time, I'm going to try to throw something a little bit different because a little bit of different vibration. If they've had 500 jackhammers come over their head,
White ones specifically.
right, white or black and blue
Right,
or green,
yeah.
monkey, whatever color. it is.
How you gonna give away my secret color, white?
Yeah, right.
Everybody's it's a bait. It's a bait.
So there-
The
Nobody.
naked lap.
I'm always a big proponent of throwing something just a little bit different than what
Yeah.
everybody else is
I
throwing.
totally agree.
When you're fishing in a crowd, if I'm out by myself, the first bait that I'm throwing is a jackhammer.
Well, I
We've
think
talked about
I
that
think-
several
I
times
think,
on this show.
I think that's part of the reason why some of the JDM stuff works so good. It's just different.
That's why I
Different
believe
stuff
in
they ain't
JDM.
seen. And so we never answered Tom
Just
over
Just a little
question.
bit different.
Soft plastic hook.
What you got there?
So
Hold on. All right.
So this is I brought a couple of baits in because we were fishing muddy water last night. So I just wanted to show some of my favorite muddy water baits. This is a
Colorado blade's good in muddy water.
This is a double Colorado Chartreuse and white spinnerbait. This is probably one of the
Is that a custom?
number one. I'll get there. This is probably the number one bait that I fish in muddy water. Double Colorado.
That color.
You want to get Chartreuse and white? Absolutely. Chartreuse and white with a
or black.
key and an opaque
Black
trailer.
spinnerbait.
You don't want a see-through trailer.
Black
You want-
spinnerbaits matter.
You want something that. So, Chartreuse and white. This is a big mouth lure spinnerbait. This is, in my opinion, the best spinnerbait that you can buy. It is a Maryland local company.
What's the name of the company again?
It's Big Mouth Lures. These
Big
spinnerbaits
mouth
are
lures.
made by Brian Barnes. He's a good friend of mine. He lives down on the shore in down around the Denton area. And again, my opinion, best spinnerbait on the market. I would buy this before I bought a Mega Bass, a Strike King, anything else. This is the only spinnerbait, only brand of spinnerbait that's in my box.
Who's that?
See,
And then
I'm
you
a,
have the classic buzz bait. That's my other muddy water lure. So
I'm a big Terminator guy. Which is interesting because it seems
You
like
like the Terminator spinnerbait?
everybody has their brand of spinnerbait. You know what I mean? It's like, what is it that's different about
half
that
ounce, by the way.
versus
Always.
Terminator?
So I mean, here's what I
Okay.
really want to talk about real quick though. What makes What makes a buzz bait effective in murky and muddy water?
Noise.
Vibration.
Noise.
It's all
noise
about
and
same.
vibration.
It's the same reason that
Making
makes us
some
They can
commotion.
find it.
Right.
They can find
It's
it.
all about the vibration.
I mean, do you think you find more? So I
Same reason
noticed.
that's
So
good.
I noticed a small amount of chatter. What is that?
I have a couple of those.
It's
Yeah.
got a rattle.
Oh, it's got rattles.
Oh,
on
you
the
don't have a
bottom
couple
it.
of those?
Okay.
Well,
I
I mean-
don't have any.
All right. Correction.
I make my own jigs. So
I will say,
I know there's only 2 people in the world that have these jigs.
You would think like so. I'm noticing like one of your choices isn't a chatterbait, which you would think makes
So
a
I've had
huge amount of vibration in murky water.
for some reason, I have not had a lot of success with a chatterbait in muddy water.
Spinner
caught
bait's
them.
the go-to.
I've caught them in muddy water on chatterbait, and I have friends that have smashed them in muddy water. For me personally, my chatterbait,
Displacement. It's got to be a displacement
yes,
thing.
it's one
It's got to be a
100%.
displacement
I
too.
would say the Colorado.
So
does
in
that.
muddy water, it's more the lateral line.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
Now,
That's why the Colorado
I'm not
rates
gonna-
are much
Yeah,
I'm not
better.
gonna
off
bend
board,
it, but
right?
Mhm.
will you bend it out in muddy
I don't
water
need
to
to.
make it displace more water?
So it doesn't necessarily displace more water. It still displaces the
Slows
same
it
amount
down.
of water. It just slows it down.
You could
So you can
fish it
bend
slower.
the arm out. So what Tony was talking
Stays
about for
higher
everybody
more
that's viewing.
and stuff.
Right.
If you don't know, if you take a spinnerbait and this is your standard spinnerbait, you see the wire runs kind of at this angle. If you bend this wire out like this, now you have it standing more straight up. Now you can fish that spinnerbait a lot slower
And
than
shallower.
you could before. So it'll run a lot. You can reel a lot slower and still keep it at the same depth as it was before.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also one of the reasons that I really like these spinnerbaits. Very light wire.
Now,
Yeah,
do
it
you
did
have
have a very light wire. I was always in that.
See,
problem.
Megabass runs a very light water, but I'm telling you, you can't you can't horse fish with a Megabass spinnerbait.
See,
One,
you
once
can't do it.
snakehead bites it, it's done.
Like
I'm
you
a
got
horse
to. I
and
mean,
fish
basically, if a
and
spinnerbait bites it, if a snakehead bites it,
It's done.
I have a question.
Yeah,
for
you're
you,
talking
Dr.
about the
Rick, 'cause
SB3.
I've never fished the Megabass spinnerbaits, but I wanted to ask this.
SV3 and the
The
SV9,
SB3.
So
both of them.
So when you're
Really?
so when your wire gets all bent up, do you ever have an issue with it breaking after straightening it out?
And Lake
So-
Anna.
Exactly.
Lake Anna.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I can say about Brian's spinnerbaits is these will do the same thing. You know, it's very light wire, but I mean you can. I've never had one break, and I've had them mangled by catfish.
Now,
And
We
you
did
can
have a
just
question.
Keep
That's
bending
not
it until it gets
yeah.
back into there.
We did have a question. It says soft plastic hooks. Chad clicked off the question. I was reading it.
I gave you my answer, Tom.
Soft plastic hooks. What do you prefer, personally? Trocar. He says Trocar all the way. I agree. I fish Trocar.
I like the
You already
I
know.
like the Gamakatsu sticky hooks as well.
I fish Gamakatsu. I won't say every hook that I fish is Gamakatsu, but 99% of them are. There
Yeah.
are. I have
It's owner or Gamakatsu,
right.
and that's it.
I do have.
There's
There are a
no
couple.
DNC.
So when I drop
Trocar
shots,
makes
There's
a good
maybe
hook.
one or two mixed in every once in a while. If I have to make an emergency stop at
I
dips or
will
something
no
like that,
BMC sucks.
Really?
I
That's
have.
another problem.
it'll get you through a day.
I do have a couple of owner cover shot hooks. If you know what those are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent drop shot hook for like a Texas rig drop shot.
Yeah.
Also the Trocar light wire finesse hook, straight finesse
Yep.
worm hook is
Mhm.
another great drop shot.
Trocar
drop
makes
shot
a
hook.
good hook.
Couple hooks
Oh,
that
yeah.
I use.
So
I
here's
use the
the-
Gamakatsus on the Back River Special there.
So here's I'll tell you why I don't fish Trocars anymore, Rob. That triangular point, go flipping one day, fish a Trocar hook.
Well, they make a certain hook that I need, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah,
You
I
already know.
know.
Yeah,
I have some of those.
yeah.
Oh, I
fact, I
want to
just
hear
put 'em
about this.
I just put them in my
Too
boat.
much juice.
I put them in my
Yeah.
boat the other night.
Did
I
you-
was like, man, I want to fish those again.
Yeah, it's too much juice. Can't
So,
get that one up. I'll fill you in later. or something.
So if
Probably
you
not,
take
though.
a regular
Just tell you
flipping hook,
something else.
I don't know what size flipping hooks you guys use. I flip mostly with a 5/0,
Yeah,
Wow.
I use a 4.
4/0, 5/0.
Mm.
And so take a 5/0 Gamakatsu flipping hook and take a 5/0 Trocar hook. Catch a couple fish on them. Look at the hole that's put in the fish's mouth with a Trocar hook versus the Gamakatsu.
And the Gamakatsu's smaller hole, isn't it?
The
Yeah.
that triangular point will tear a
I know.
giant hole, and it's not. And I'm
So
going to
the
be a
Civil
little.
War
I'm going to be.
bayonet.
I'm going to be
Yeah.
a little. I'm going to be a little selfish here. Yeah. I'm not necessarily concerned about the fish care as far as that, but you'll lose more fish
Right, because
it's
pop right
it's
out.
punching. It's cutting a big hole,
Yeah.
and you'll lose more fish. Where if you look at a Gamakatsu, it's like poking a needle through something. You know,
Just stick 'em.
it's just a small hole so that barb can grab.
Yeah, no doubt.
The tripod
Gamakatsus
hooks?
are good hooks.
They're good hooks.
Well, what
Don't get
don't
me
you
wrong,
like
they're
about
good.
VMC?
They rust too easy.
They do rust.
Well, Tony's nickname
They
is
do.
Rusty
They
Hook.
rust like right away.
Yeah.
That's why I said
They
you
do
get
rust.
like two. You
When
get
they
like
touch
2
the
fishes out of VMC.
a lot
they're
like
rusting.
War Eagle spinner baits. As soon as they
Yeah.
touch the
Whoa,
water, they
whoa.
That's not if you take
Whoa.
kind of the War Eagle spinner baits.
You
they're
know,
good.
as soon as they touch the water, they start.
Oh my god, that's what makes them squeak and they get bit.
You know it's Tony Schultz, aka Rusty Hook.
I know.
This whole tackle box.
We're in the
I can't, dude. I
I
can't.
know.
I can't talk that much.
We're in the
I got
park-
some rusty shit.
Well, now you're
You saw that
Guggen
last night? Yeah.
from Seabass, aka Guggen
So we're in the parking. We're in the
Yes,
parking
some
lot.
bullshit.
We're in the parking lot last night. Tony's parked beside me, and his buddy Chad asked him if he had any hair jigs, and he's like, "Yeah, I got some." And he pulls them out.
It was all rusted.
I kid you not, they were so rusted that the black hair in the hair jig was brown.
You got tetanus just like that.
Yes.
So what
He's
Paul,
earned the name Rusty Hook.
All right, look.
I was 10 feet away, and I felt like I needed a tetanus shot.
I ain't gonna lie, I was being slick. I was sifting through. I'm like, oh, these aren't that bad. And I took one and I tested the hook and it broke. And I just went, yeah, this is all right. They're not that bad. You guys don't know what you're talking about.
Rusty Hook is his new nickname.
That and no offense to Tony, but that is I think that's something that's overlooked by a lot of people is just the maintaining your gear, especially with like crank
Vital.
You know, if I have rusty hooks, you know, swap them out. Like
Yeah.
it's not that's the first thing between you and that fish is the hook. You know, why I'm not going to throw a rusty hook. Why take a chance at losing it? You know, will it affect it every time? Probably not. But you know,
We did an episode on this.
you got a little bit of rusty. You got to change your hooks.
Not Tony. No.
Well,
Never.
his
Hold on,
after
I have a lot.
after what I saw last
Paul's
night,
like
I
exact
feel-
opposite.
I have
had to
footage that says differently.
Paul's exact opposite. Like he's only used the hook. Like I just don't have 5 casts. I got to take my hook.
Well, now look.
No, I don't. I resharpen a lot of hooks. So
Yeah.
I don't change them.
Like
Remember,
Doug Hannon.
it was
the
like a
bad
month
professor.
ago when we had the show when I talked about how I changed the hooks on my popper before the
Hooks are
last club
expensive.
tournament, and it was like it made the absolute difference. So, in all seriousness, Paul's absolutely correct because
Yeah, Tony doesn't really only have rusty hooks.
I mostly rusty.
Yeah, mostly rusty. Yeah.
75%.
Not flipping hooks though.
There's a
Not
It
bad.
turned you
There's a
a
guy
cool
in my-
nickname.
There's a guy
Rusty
in my
Hook's a
club
cool
who will
nickname.
throw rusty. I mean, he'll just pull out a crankbait with rusty ass hooks on
And
it,
catch him.
and like yeah, he'll catch them, but then he'll wonder like, oh man, I lost like a 4-pounder at the boat. Well, it's like because it's a lot harder to punch a hook through a 4-pounder's mouth than it is a 2-pounder's mouth.
Sure.
Yeah.
I was
So
gonna say, I want to circle back to a point about like hook shape and like the size hole it makes. Like I honestly never thought about that. And I'm glad you said that because
I
there's some people. I mean, there's probably a lot of
Areas
people that don't
people
think about that stuff.
I've
And I thought
never
that was a really
thought
good
about
point.
I'm not gonna lie, I learned that from I learned that from a
He just
local
texted to me.
hammer.
Yeah, that's good information. Seriously,
Yeah,
I'll have to like keep an eye on that next time.
That was something one of the many things I've learned from him. But yeah, I mean that's stuff that you have to pay attention to.
Is that the guy with the charger?
No,
So my wife's still
He has
hanging in
a
there
Phoenix.
watching.
Mm.
Say hi to my wife.
and you and him don't get
No,
along.
I ain't wait. You gotta say hi to my wife.
You know, it's funny.
I
I'm
love
noticing.
it. I love it.
Since we have 2
He's a very good
viewers
friend.
on Facebook, but we have 6 on the restream.
It-
So
there was
I guess
way-
we must
probably-
have viewers on the
There
YouTube
was
right now.
way
Or
more
stream.
comments. When you go to the regular Facebook page, there's way more comments earlier. That's what I was trying to tell you. Look, it's freaking
617 people.
right.
Pretty good.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I didn't know if you.
That's the old thread there. That's the old thread. We gotta go to the new one.
No, but even before, it was the same amount of comments, or I think it was like 32 when we cut out,
Yeah.
Was it?
and we had a whole bunch of
Well,
Look,
we haven't,
see,
we
look,
haven't
we
had
had
any more comments.
Tom
Yeah,
Over
click
said
the
15
comments.
pounds
Click-
ain't
click
shit.
the
We missed
37
that.
comments.
Yeah.
Click on the comments.
37.
Where it says
Go up 37.
There.
Now we can answer some comments.
Nope. So the
Or can you go to previous? Usually it gives you like a previous
Yeah.
comments thing.
Have another beer. You will figure it out.
That's awesome.
We missed all these good comments.
That's awesome.
I'm
So
surprised
this
it
is
doesn't give you-
58 minutes ago. We've been live for.
Not long. Well,
If you're still online, say what's up.
Yeah, if you're still online watching, just say hi real quick.
And where you're watching it from, if you're watching from
Yeah.
YouTube, Instagram.
Yeah,
my
are
wife's
you watching
still
from
on.
YouTube? You watching from Facebook?
Damn,
It's
I'm
saying
in
we
again.
only have 4
Yeah,
viewers
Tony's
on
smashing them
YouTube.
over
So
there.
please comment real quick. Where are you watching from? Got you guys streaming on the TV through YouTube, but can't comment on it. Okay,
oh,
right
nice,
on.
Tom.
Okay, that's cool. Thank you,
pull
Tom. So yeah, no,
That's to
it's
wash
like
the beer taste out of my
I'm
mouth.
telling you, like no matter how many times we do this, like
Probably call my
technology
Audi
is
cold.
like technology is just like unpredictable. You just don't know if it's ever like working correct. Sometimes you just gotta like check in.
Brian
So,
said, "What up from Facebook? What's up, Brian?
What's up, Brian?
Brian Willie.
I want to do. Can you guys hear us loud and clear? Has anything been blotchy or like
My
weird?
wife said she watching it from YouTube. That's my
Oh, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Miss Maria, how has the sound been? Because we're using a new microphone, so we really want to know from our viewers if you guys are hearing the sound better, if it's a better quality. That's what we're shooting for. We want to make it better for you guys. So let us know if this is helping you guys hear us better, if the sound quality is better. Let us know what's going on.
Who else we still got on? Dan, you still on, man? I know Dan's probably still on. Paul's not commenting like he usually does.
I wonder why.
He was in the beginning.
yeah. My wife said it.
Well, I have so many things right.
Okay.
We
but
could
like-
make this podcast last like 3 hours with all.
Oh,
with
yeah.
all
It
the stuff
could
that's on my
always-
brain, just about like muddy water fishing.
This is the Joe Rogan fishing podcast.
We gotta get into. We gotta do the tidal water one.
What do you mean?
Oh,
Oh,
so
the tide
So there's
debate.
a little bit of
I will-
Oh my
let me-
gosh, dude, that's for a whole nother night.
Yeah, that's a
no,
whole
I
show.
want to touch on this because I remember Tony saying last week that I don't think tide is the biggest factor. I can tell you for a fact
Could be your video
It was
board
last
or
night,
your-
though.
last night
It was last
tide
night.
was the
graphics
biggest
card or
factor.
whatever.
As soon as the tide slacked out, never got a bite.
It was I will admit that it definitely was last night for sure.
Just
And
want to throw that out there.
and last night was the perfect anti-argument to mine because I said time of day is most important. And last night was last light when you would expect the top water bite to be great. Tide was not moving. Sun's
No
going down. No bite.
Right.
So Paul's absolutely correct. Now,
I
is
agree.
it always like that? No. Well, this is a whole.
It's a whole nother.
It really is a whole episode.
Dude, I
But I
almost
will
wore
admit,
my,
Paul's definitely right about last night.
almost wore my Spro frog.
Tide.
Tide doesn't matter.
Were you throwing a Spro frog last night? That's why I didn't catch anything because it was a Spro frog.
Called it a snakehead on it.
I'm telling you,
Actually, I
dude.
called him on a chatterbait.
Like-
but
So I threw the chartreuse Terminator frog 5 casts. I got 2 blow ups and 5 casts.
But I
I
fished
cut
the
it
grass.
off. My Chad's like, "What are you doing? Like, why? You just got 2 bites in 5 casts." But I'm like, I don't like it. Sucks. I didn't.
Well,
not eating it.
you didn't catch them, so
No,
I mean, it makes
exactly.
sense.
Like they're not eating it. I
right.
put the red frog on. He's like, "What the fuck is this fucking piece of shit red frog?" 3rd cast.
Yeah, no.
Boom.
Nah.
He's
Yeah.
like, "Dude, how the fuck?
The
It's a
color of
red
frog
ass
does matter.
frog." Like, I don't know, man. Like,
One
if-
is red.
gun to my
Guy
head.
at bait fish, I'm sure they see some red.
I
Gun to
think
my
it's just because you laugh really loud.
Oh yeah, he's like, no.
gun to my head right now. It's a red frog. If I go,
What if
Oh,
you're
yeah.
fishing?
oh yeah,
Black.
oh yeah.
Black frog.
Black frog last night did not get 1 blow. Not even a bite.
If I can only have one color, it'll be black. Like if that's it, like I can only
Black
I
have
didn't
and
get, I
blue,
didn't get
just
one
straight
blow
black.
on a black frog last night.
Black
But I
and
did
blue.
throw a black frog all night long.
I've caught like 3 fish.
That
But
means
in the
that-
previous
black frog.
tournament, Lunker and was it 3 out of 3 fish or 2 out of 3 fish was on the black frog? Did we keep the one that you caught or did we release it?
Oh, when
I
you
can't
caught the
remember.
lunker.
It was all. Oh no! So mine was on
On a white frog.
Yeah, and then we kept that. That was the cull of the night.
Yeah. So I mean, but like 90% of all of our catches.
But if
that
you ask
came
Greg,
on-
Where'd you catch that
we
big
talked to
fish
Greg
at?
last night. He said white belly frog all the way.
Who said that?
Greg.
I I'm
I
not,
mean-
I'm not going into
I mean,
juice.
Yeah, don't
I'm not talking about what color I
It's
was
too
throwing
easy
last
to
night.
get carried
I can
away
tell
with
you that I
something
never
about
threw.
juice.
Not a single bait that I threw last night was black. Even though black frog's my go-to, not a single bait that I threw.
I caught that snakehead on a white chatterbait.
See, when I got out there, I was like, man, this water looks messed up. Like a lot of times,
The water
so
definitely was
what
messed
I've
up.
been told is that when it's
Paul's on fire tonight.
when it's cloudy, you want to go lighter
Don't
for
forget
top
about
water
that.
for frogs, particularly. Versus when the sun is out, you want to go black.
Right.
So what I kind of did was I was like, well, the water's a little bit messed up, so I want to go. Even though the sun was still out, I want to go with that light color, and I got the bites right away. And then I went smack in the middle from a bright color to a dark color with the red, and it was on. Like, but I'm telling you, like, I don't know why. I started with the black actually, and Chad threw it all night. The black Terminator frog. It never got a blow up.
All right.
Like, and it's the same damn frog. It's just black.
They
Like, I don't understand.
I never got a bite on a hollow belly frog all night.
I called out all three of our fish on a hollow.
It was all
Oh, no, I know
soft
what
last
you
night.
mean. No,
It's been key recently, I feel like. Them freaking kicker frogs.
That's what I figured. Kind of.
I call
With a
it.
frog, right?
See, I just like a frog. I feel like the big ones just gotta get like.
No.
Well, just different.
So I had a buzzing toad on there or something. Well, I thought he was getting.
I just
Chad
love.
Chad knows what's wrong.
I
It'll
just.
be different next
He
week.
sneaks around like watching people bumping into
It'll
them.
be-
He's got binoculars.
Showed
He's got like a little Hubble telescope in there.
Yeah.
But I do feel like
Like they
that,
got better than Chad. Like
Don't
with his
underestimate
toy
the
motor,
John
like, standing
Doe,
up
bro.
on a boat with a beer.
Yeah.
That is 120% factual.
I know it is. Trust me, I know it is.
I'm not gonna lie.
When he was like boat one, he was
Bro,
like
I
leading the
almost, I
pack
swear
like
to God,
that.
like, dude, I almost launched yesterday. You know when they call your number?
It was
Almost
beer.
launched yesterday. I was almost like
right.
with a beer in my freaking hand. I'm like,
Dude, Nate
I don't
Brown.
know. That's not. That's against the tournament.
Nate,
So I
Nate,
better not do that.
Nate Brown found out that you had some bears, dude. And like he was like, "I gotta find Chad. He's got all the bears." Like, he kept looking for you, and shit. He's like, "You see
Everybody
Chad?"
heard,
That's
everybody
not
heard
true.
beer run. I was going to beer run. Everybody's like, beer run? Someone say beer run?
I was like, we got there. Well, I mean, dude, we get there like 2 hours for the tournament. We got to rig up. We got.
I was not a boater.
Skylar pulls in.
So,
My
I was
dumb
good.
ass, like, I forgot to freaking stop at the liquor store. So I was like, I told Skylar, I'm like, go to the liquor store, hit the liquor store. And he brought back the beer. As soon as I said liquor store, I swear to God, I heard 5 echoes in the parking lot. Liquor store? Liquor store?
I pulled off so fast. I was about to take money.
So hey,
Water displacement.
so let me
That's
say
the
this.
beaver, right?
And the only reason I say this is because me and Skylar are going to be awake in about 4 hours.
Yeah.
How do we end tonight's show? And what should
Stay
we?
up for the next 4 hours and
Yeah,
go
just
fishing.
don't go to sleep and go fishing.
Don't go to sleep.
Yeah.
I've tried
No.
that. It doesn't work. Plus, I would if I didn't have to drive across the Bay Bridge tomorrow at 3 in the
Did I
morning.
tell you guys
So
a
don't,
story
don't
that
drive across the Bay Bridge.
it might have been after one of our
Go through
shows.
Delaware.
I don't remember.
You know,
But I got
I think
too
I would
drunk.
like to go tomorrow.
I got too drunk to go fishing.
You could always come with me. I don't care. I don't have a rider. But I really have no idea if I'm going to catch a fish or not.
Are you fishing it tomorrow? Paul told you he put you on some juice.
No, I can't go tomorrow. I have
I'm fishing the
that was
GT.
actually one topic that was totally off topic I wanted to talk about tonight, and we'll talk about it at the end. But I did want to talk about the new concealed carry permit that mail-in are able to
Oh,
obtain.
you got to get Scott
At the
on there
end
with
of
the.
Yeah,
We
no,
actually- we
I
should
would
have
love
Scott
I would
on.
love to talk to Scott on
His
here.
daughter does that. Girls with guns.
He's
Yeah,
also
girls
retired.
with guns.
Retired.
State
American
police.
police.
Retired. He's retired.
I would love to
police
talk to
officer.
Scott. So
Also a retired
my-
U.S. Marshal.
Really?
Oh, that's badass. I didn't know that.
I'm
Federal
surprised he
jurisdiction.
likes us.
That's That's a good point.
Nah, Scott's a great guy. He really is.
So I actually have my first class for that.
Oh, you got in.
Yeah, I got
Oh,
it.
nice.
I have that tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, the website's down now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the website's
Can't
down.
pay anything.
But at the end of the podcast, when we sign out, I would like to say a couple things about it, as I feel that it is important information for those of us that believe in our Second Amendment rights. And if you don't believe in our Second Amendment rights that are watching this show,
Yes, Paul. Yes.
I was waiting for Chad. I knew it was coming. Paul
fuck
beat
you,
him
bro.
to it.
Just get off our show for real. That's how we feel about this shit. Second Amendment rights. So, Well, we've had a really, really good show tonight. God, dude, I feel like the topics can just
It
go.
flowed really well. The comments were great.
I
Thanks
hope
again, Paul, for coming on and sharing us with
anytime,
the
Paul.
juice, man.
first place tomorrow. He shared some of the
First
juice with
place
us.
tomorrow. So, damn.
It's probably a good thing I'm not
That's good to know.
fishing
Ain't it, Paul?
tomorrow.
You got first place. Are you fishing the Derby
Why
tomorrow?
not call me out?
I
That's funny.
and
It's good TV, man.
I like that. Just go ahead and blame Chad that I gave up the juice because I never mentioned a single bait that I threw last night.
Hey, I don't know if you know, Kevin Parsons, I heard that guy Paul likes to dunk.
Oh, Kevin's on. Hey, what's up,
Only-
Patrick?
only
Patrick,
your-
my
only
man
your dog,
Patrick's
Kevin.
on.
Only your dog.
Patrick's on, dude.
I heard that guy who likes the dog. Oh, dude, this show is awesome.
Hey, real quick though, are you fishing the Derby tomorrow? Are you fishing tomorrow?
I may fish the bush tomorrow. I have a club tournament on the bush next weekend. I've only been there once. this
And
year.
you guys are fishing
Chop tank.
Chop tank, and I'm going to the GP tomorrow, dude. So,
Well, good luck.
You got your class. Hey,
Yeah.
you know what? Gotta go and figure something out. You know.
Yeah, man. So
More time on the water.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Better than sit on the couch.
That's right. Kevin is in bumfuck Missouri right now.
Oh yeah, dude. Thanks for watching from Missouri, Kevin.
He is
We
working on.
appreciate it, brother.
He is working on some windmills out there.
Okay.
He works for
They're the ones that kill
Constellation or
For that
Exelon.
for that Joe Biden project.
They've been there for a while.
So the thing about, I guess they started building off the coast of Ocean City.
Yeah,
Did they
works
really?
He works for
Oh, shit.
Exelon or Constellation or something. Kevin's a good dude. He is one of my go-to tournament partners. I fished a lot of Thursday nighters with him last year.
How do I get it?
I think he caught the biggest fish out of all the Thursday nighters.
Yes, he
What,
caught
slot fishing with him.
he caught a 6 1/4 last year.
Yeah, because I caught a 5. It was like
nice.
I'm at the boat ramp, right? So I got like a 5. So I come back like I got big.
He's
fish, right?
so he's so happy. He's so
right.
elated.
Like
He's
I'm like yes. So Paul's like, hey, what you got, Rob? I was like, I got a 5. And he's like, that ain't gonna be enough.
Deflated. Right? Just deflated.
It was like last night with a big snake in my face. It's just like, But I believe that was the biggest one caught all
That's-
last year in the
yes,
Thursday night. It was like 6. Something.
6 1/4. I caught the first tournament. I caught one that was close to 6. I think it was like 5.7.
I had a
or
couple of
something
5,
like
a little over 5.
But yeah, that's the only one that's ever been weighed in over 6. I think it might be the only, even counting like the solstice tournaments that have been
Right.
forever. I
Over
don't know if
6.
anyone's
Yeah.
been.
Yeah.
I don't know of
over
any
6.
ever over 6.
That was Kevin. Kevin caught that fish, right? Yeah.
Yeah, caught it on chatterbait.
That's awesome.
Chatterbait in the grass.
Fantastic.
We won that tournament with 2 fish.
I would hope so. If you got one that's 6 1/4, that's enough to win some of them with 3 fish.
Well, the other one was like 4.
I had a
so-
5.
That'll do it.
I had a 5.
It's just not enough, man.
Paul, it hurt my feelings. I think we wearing the money on that one too. I
Yeah.
don't remember. We had a limit and a kicker, but then they come in with it.
Yeah,
What
we had,
the
we
hell,
had,
dude?
we had 10
I kept a 7.5 pound
we-
snake head last night. Dude comes on an 8. I can't fucking out.
So you came in, you're like, yeah, 7.5 pounds.
We only
You said
got,
8, you're
we
like,
only got 2 bites that night, but it was 2 bites for 10 pounds.
I'll take 2 bites of one. It was a 6 pounder, dude.
6
Yeah.
1/4.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. Kevin caught both those fish.
All right, Joe. We're getting to the end of this podcast. We got 2 of the boys that need to get to bed so that they can get out and fish tomorrow.
Sissies.
Before we end, I would really love to say
What the fuck?
sleep well at night.
Oh, hell yeah.
I would really love to say thank you very much to the people that support us and sponsor the show.
Cheers.
Cheers to you guys. BassMunitionsLures.com. All your self-plastics needs. Get the legendary Holstein worm. You got flipping baits. Larry is working on some jig heads and all that type of
Lead heads,
stuff.
swim jigs, all,
Lead
you
heads.
name it.
He's got paddle tails. Check out BassMunitionsLures.com, dude. They continue to put fish on the boat for us. Big fish, too. 2 3-pound smallmouth the other week, 4-pound bass, and also a 2nd place and a 3rd place in a 3'fer tournament in the evenings. So Bass Munitions Lures, man, check those guys out. And a huge shout out to Tyler with UMALureCo.com.
Best crankbaits on the market.
Best crankbaits on the market. You heard it from
I like to
Paul.
get some, dude.
best crankbaits on the market. And I will say, we have footage of them.
I
We've
was
made
saying, watch
footage
the
of them.
videos,
We've
man.
watched the videos, man. I mean, They are just beast crankbaits. They are custom balsa wood crankbaits. Tyler is awesome to work with. You can probably get some custom paint and everything on there. These crankbaits deflection rates are just absolutely phenomenal.
Dude, in the video, it like the one part always gets me is like sideways like this on the
Yeah,
chair,
man.
and
Right.
it still comes through.
Yeah,
Like,
oh, it's awesome.
It comes
Hands
through,
down.
and they are just phenomenal. So if you don't have a couple of UMA Lure Company crankbaits or poppers, I think Tyler's coming out with some poppers
That's what I heard.
in your arsenal, you are absolutely missing out because I have one tied on 100% of the time. And another guy that we have to thank is Warren Taylor
Taylor Lewis.
with
I still
Taylor
got to
Lures.
get some of those. Now, Rob, I know we're
Great
ending the show, but Rob Murphy and Team Outcast
I saw
just
that he
ordered
saw
a
it.
bunch of
Huge
Taylor
amount.
frogs.
15 or something.
Yeah.
And the last post that he put of Maryland bass fishing on the Facebook page had a Taylor Lewis frog in that fish is
Yeah,
gone.
man.
Yeah.
I mean, so they're doing it. Like
Is that the
Taylor-
problem?
Can't wait to get some of the
Tailored
big
Lures
ones.
from Warren
Yes.
Taylor. I don't think Warren has a website. Message Warren directly on Facebook or Instagram, and Warren will get you hooked up with his frogs. Warren's frogs are fantastic products. Small frogs, bite-sized, sharp hooks, good action. You will absolutely not regret.
have another beer, Chad.
They're
Buying
the grass is out.
Warren's frogs.
if anybody's a snakehead fisherman, those tailored frogs are.
Is that the,
Money,
that's
dude.
the one I've been fishing,
Absolute
right?
money. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The tailored
Yeah.
frogs. You've been fishing those tailored frogs.
Yeah, I'm making a video on them.
Yeah, they feel great. They
Yeah.
look great.
They are great. So I mean, we appreciate you guys more than you know. We are always continuing to try to put out some content with your baits. We have them tied on at all times. We got Riverboat Rob on here. Riverboat Rob.
Man,
Check out Riverboat Rob on YouTube. Go to Riverboat Rob's page, like and subscribe Riverboat Rob's page.
Please.
Go to Bass and Beer Radio's page, like and subscribe on Bass and Beer Radio. We would really appreciate it. And we appreciate everybody that follows us each week. We're going to give you guys some more content next week and throughout the week. We got another Thursday nighter this week. We got the weigh-ins coming in.
trying to make it 2 in a row.
Yep. We're going to try to
I hope you come in second.
There you go.
we're going to try to come on a little bit, but we're going to try to come on before the Thursday nighter. We're going to talk about conditions. We're going to weigh in on the Thursday nighter, and we're going to be live on Friday
And-
to recap the
And
Thursday
I'm going
nighter.
to turn the screen the correct way this time.
Yeah,
I
so
did it that way. That
Everybody
time.
told me they had to watch it sideways.
It was definitely sideways.
It was definitely sideways.
I mean, dude. So,
And I pulled that
so do you
terrible
remember
screen.
when we used to broadcast off the phone?
Yeah.
It was always
won't be like
sideways,
What, like a month
this
ago?
time.
Yeah, like a month ago.
That's far. That's
When I,
long ago.
when I pulled that terrible screenshot off the video because
Yeah.
the signal in there absolutely.
Oh, is that where the picture came from?
I had to edit the photo and work it around.
Oh,
Hey, real quick before you finish signing off, man, I gotta say, hey, Paul, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, thank you.
No, absolutely.
You were
It's
very
not
much,
You're
very proud to call you a friend.
my people. So,
Yes, sir.
Thank you for coming on tonight.
anytime you want.
We definitely want to have you come back on in the future.
Just let me know.
It'd be fantastic.
If there's one thing that I love in life, it is talking about fishing. And if you want to talk about baits, I will talk. You
Oh, we're doing the
Let's
bait
do
show
it,
there.
dude.
pick
We're
a style of bait.
absolutely
If
doing
you I can talk for 2 hours on chatterbaits.
There you go.
What?
I bet you Paul
Oh,
could
you
like
have to
flip.
shock this like Vince Pro.
Oh.
Oh, we didn't even tell the story. We don't sign off. When we tell the story, maybe next time we'll talk about it with Paul when he broke out the flipping rod.
Oh
When he
yeah,
got called
we'll
out.
talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Start skipping a jig and a marmalade under my jeans.
Yeah. For the next show, dude.
Thank you guys. For,
It's okay. It's empty.
thank you guys for signing on. Remember, freaking UMA Lure Company, Bass Munitions Lures, Tailored Lures, get you everything you need on the boat to catch fish. Also, remember, at the end of the day, 15 pounds ain't shit.
Yes, sir.
Peace out, boys and girls.